Ladies and gentlemen, today is Wednesday. In the United States, in the West, we call it the hump day. If you are riding the camel, you will see on the back of the camel is a hump. That means that's the middle of the week. If you pass today, you are almost home. Got one more day before the weekend, which is tomorrow. So if your weekday is over, if your workday is over, you are in good company. You should be happy. Today we have a special guest, Mr. Ashford Watkins. These are brilliant young folks. He's an analyst. He used to be at NOCAL. He's going to be here talking public policy. We're going to be discussing NOCAL, the concept, and all of that. In fact, do you know that as of yesterday, the LRA increased the GST tax on basically everything from 10 to 12%, from rice to petroleum, your gasoline, your fuel oil, whatever it is. This government has raised taxes in the midst of all that is going on at the Supreme Court, at the Temple of Justice and all of that. Quietly, while you were not watching, if you went to buy gas or rice or basic commodities, you will find out that it has increased overnight while you are busy with this coal thing and Speaker Kofi and who burned what and all of that stuff. They were raising your taxes here. But Mr. Ashford is going to be here, Watkins. We're going to have a great discussion. I know Honorable King George, Tomalin George the first is going to be on. We're going to have Myean here as well. We're going to have our other panelists as they join. It's going to be a very hefty discussion. But let me talk about some of the things that are going on now in the country. The Center for Transparency and Accountability in Liberia, CENTEL, released their 2024 State of Corruption report with 83% of all Liberians, 83% believe that the government is corrupt. Listen, 83%. That's over, and you were counting 10 people, and you were talking to 10 people, and you asked them, is this government corrupt? Over 8 of the 10 people are going to tell you, yes, the government is corrupt. 8 out of 10. Over 8 out of 10 people believe that the country is corrupt. Let me bring on the young analyst, journalist, up-and-coming intellectual, Mr. Myean. How you doing there, young man?
I'm doing good, and you?
I am in the great state of Florida, and today the weather is 89 degrees and it's sunny. I couldn't be in a better place. It is beautiful over here. How is Monrovia?
Well, Monrovia is not bad. Just like the whole day all through, we've been facing some difficulties with the rain, where we have a series of flood victims all over Monrovia, most especially from the West Point area and also from the Pinsville belt. We've been following flood victims all over. But we hope to see whether tomorrow we are still going to experience it, because another day people are trying to put some measure into place that they cannot be a victim of the flood. Like on today, we saw a huge number of people being victimized from the rain, where the rain started this morning up to this evening. The rain was still falling, and it was heavy this morning, and we even saw people moving from one location to another. So I think we are praying that tomorrow or the other days that will come, the rain should not be heavy like today, because the day we saw, it was like the first day that we saw heavy pool of rain within Monrovia. We don't know about the others, but we received information that some part of Nima was also the same thing, where we saw some flood victims were all around. So most especially for the newsmaker or for journalists, at the point in time is when we receive so many SOS call for flood victims also cover this event. And at time in Liberia, we have special season for a special occasion, most especially for the journalists. At special point in time, you cover certain stories, and with that point in time, you must have to carry that story because it is the time. So we are in rainy season, so we should expect more flood victims and more disaster management stories going around from one media institution to another. So at a point in time, Liberia, moreover, most especially in the Pennsylvania, we are feeling good, and the rain was not really heavy, but people were victimized from the rain today. But me, I was a little bit cool because the rain was a little bit heavy this morning. But within the evening time, by one, we started to see little weather coming up, like the sun was about to shine, but it was not good for us. So, Mr. Gaiman, well, we are cool here within the nation's capital, Monrovia.
Well, you talk about the nation's capital. I sent you a video this morning while we wait on our guest. Uh, it is something that everybody should be concerned about. A young man like you who is doing very well, and you're doing all you can to work and go to school and work and go to school and prepare for the exam and hoping for a better future. I was hoping that you would see this video, and it is out of Bond County, and it is called.
I saw that video, Mr. Gaiman sent me.
Yes, if you could play, we have time while we wait for our guest. When our guest comes, we can
Yeah,
always.
I'm about to play it, so you can just be talking as I
Yes,
play.
yes. We want you to look at this video. This is 2025. When you talk about the president, 1 some million dollars in a bulletproof car. The vice president, same thing. Legislators, our legislators are making what, riding $45,000, $55,000 cars. And then welcome, Dr. Peabody.
No, who brought me on? Man, I think in the back, I think I just broke it on.
You see, if you are not ready,
He's doing something in the back. He's doing something in the back. That's
okay, thank you. You know, when we live the kind of life of opulence, where lawmakers are making so much money, and then you look at children. Listen to this, guys. No volume.
Okay, let me play.
And what I'm looking at, somebody will say, I know Babra. How do you call it, Babra? This place, we are in Pengbas Town. And this is the Pengbas Town Public School. Which client are we in? Yabayong Client. Woman District, Lower Bond County, number 7. For the family is a representative of this district. We have county education officer, we have district education officer. Now, let me take you in the public school. Because public school, when they say public, it's owned by the government, that is only. You look at the school. This is the Ministry of Education run school. The Ministry of Education running the place here. I think it's an office here. But look at the fellow Liberians. Look what they did here. All the millions of dollars given to the Ministry of Education. This is the Pengbas Town Public School. This is where the people, the young generation, The children who's supposed to take over from Waka, His Excellency. The children who's supposed to take over from Richard Kuhn. The children who's supposed to take over from Vice President Pan, Lucky Sandra Lawrence. They're supposed to take over. This is where they sit federal Liberians. You see here, June 6, 2025. June 6, 2025. So yesterday, the children sat here. This is where they sit. Right here. Jill, come. We're in class. Jill, come. We're in class. Come sit down there. The teacher. Look what they will listen to the teacher. My father, my mother, my sister, my brother,
sister is mine.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so that the place. Do you say that yet?
Right here.
Yeah.
Sure study.
Yeah.
Class work. 1. My father's sister is my who? The auntie.
My auntie.
Okay. My mother is my uncle. My sister is my sister. my father brother is my uncle. So when we went tomorrow, come to Torgbean tomorrow.
Yeah.
He come here also in the way. This is what we see.
This is what you see here. A public school, fellow Liberians, run by the Ministry of Education. Don't say it's not in function. It's functioning because what you see over there, June 6, 2025. Today is June 7, Saturday. Yesterday was Friday. This is where the generation of this country, education is not a privilege, but it's a right to all Liberians. Whether you're rich, you're poor, fellow Liberians, look at it. Share the video. Look here where the children sit. This is where they sit. Let's go to the next class. Yeah. So that's what they use. Yeah.
Teacher, we want to go.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm almost reset now. You're almost reset. Let go. Okay. Get in, let go. This is another class. June 6. So where are the kids sitting? Where? So for what we're seeing here, not on a grade 2nd or grade 2, what? You see that? Second and third. In a second and third, 6 what? 6 period. Math. And you see, at June 6, right? 2025. So the students were here yesterday. So where do they sit? So they come with their own chairs and they sit in Monrovia and they say they are running public schools. This is another class here, fellow Liberians. This is another class. Why did my mother? Why God even brought my mother to
So Mr. Geme, we can just take it down. People are listening.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are waiting on our guests. There you go, King George the First.
Hey, big boss, what's up? How's everything?
Man, we are blessed. We are grateful.
Mr. Geme, who's that man in the video?
Oh, that's Rogers. That's our reporter from Hot FM.
Oh, we need to get him. Watching that video. Look, class reloaded. Why can't they play that video now?
No.
Class reloaded. Why they can't play that video? That video, I want that video. I'll put on my page. Hey, you might put on our page too, Myean, that video.
Yeah, I'm planning or two of them to do an interview there, and the representative is for the family. He's one of the person who people take to be someone who
I
is
want to hear about him. I just want, well, my concern is that video. That video. Look,
yeah.
in 2025, with a budget of almost $900 million, can you see the children? Look what the children sitting and learning on. The education minister, she got $40,000 to relocate to Liberia. And they boast and brag. And this is not only to the government, for all government that have treated that particular area like that. But they boast and brag. And they talk about the impacting the people's lives. I mean, this day and age, look at people, how the children are learning. You know, it pains me because we're in America. Our children graduating. I mean, they are. I mean, they're about to go to college. They started to go to college. That Peabody daughter just graduated from college. She come and do her master's. Okay, our children are coming. My daughter entering college. We just saw you. I mean, and they learning in a very conducive environment. And we talk about millions of dollars the government spending. But look at children learning. Tell me, if anybody with a restful mind can tell me that they will vote, they will continue to vote the same people in power, they are joking. We should put that on our pages. Talk about it. We shouldn't shy from it. Expose these things. Then people get to know. And class, you know that. Why can't they play it? This is the things you play on the show. Talking about this. Can you imagine? It was just today is June 11th. 5 days ago. The children learning. Can you imagine? Our children, oh my God. Somebody wrote down and they said the thing is painful.
Of course.
Look at Abu Kamara. Abu, you stop making a team. Abu, you're not compelled to defend everything. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't defend the kind of team. Don't do that, man. Something you gotta be quiet. Don't talk about it. When you got an age-old problem, you know how many times he has received his allotment? The money they gave, $30,000 they gave for engagement. Oh my God, Abu, don't get me. Oh my God, oh Lord.
Well,
I mean, that is people. This Peabody being always going is a man who not in government. He come in America. He first day, he love it when he first day. That was so the man said, Judge Tomalin, I rush into the place quick. I gotta go to the place quick. He leave soon the morning, go on a flight, go preach to a church. Right? How he get money to support the projects in Liberia. Also, what people can think that people give him money free. No. He go to these churches, they put money together, saying Liberia. I mean, and no, not representative. There's a oh my God, my people, about it. I'm losing it.
You know, that's why people can't. A lot of people in Monrovia there can't survive off the cycle. Mr. Gilman, good to see you. Mm-hmm. Good to see everybody. Most of them can't survive outside of the government work. That's why you see them with dress up in plain. I mean, in Kosu City line, plain stretch of leg. That's why nobody want to create. There's no private sector. Everybody want to work for government. They don't want to even be determined, open their own business to do something. Everybody come to the government because they saw John Paul dressed in Kosu, flying, and everybody were running behind him as a security. They all want to, but it's sad. Most of the people don't develop the town. You know, my work I don't build schools and things, but some of the places I went in Vassar, I was led to do that, you know, and other helped me. You know, pretty soon we're going to be breaking ground for multi-purpose vocational center in Orange Grove in August, you know, and we're going to start building that to help 7 to 8 villages where children graduate from high school or even junior middle school, and they got no more opportunity to even learn trade and stuff like that. And that purpose, the school is to help those children. I don't have any intention to run for a government job. I don't have any intention to work in government. In fact, I said Liberia government at that rate, you know, but it's sad that those people who get up there dress and say they call themselves representative lawmakers and things like that. They cannot even advocate for their towns and the villages to have a good school. Nobody asking you to build it. But at least put money in the budget that will help your school. Will help these villages where the kids got zero opportunity of even moving forward unless they come to Monrovia. You know, zero opportunity. These guys just jump up, go over there, and they all join the group, get the money, and hang around and do things like that. That's what Liberia have just. It's like people don't have a vision at all. You know, they don't have a vision.
No, guys saying.
The Bible said where there's no vision.
If you love your country, look.
But we have done so much to help.
We have done so much.
We've done so much. I mean,
Lasana, I'm in America and I'm in Liberia sometimes twice a year helping out. The new concept, you open your eyes. They call it the new world order. Ain't nobody coming to give you everything 100%. They will help you when you are helping yourself. When they come and say, what do you have as your skin in the game? You say, I have done the foundation. Can you help me with the roof? Can you help me with the upbuild? That's what the people want to see. They don't want to see you sitting there. That's cool. $5,000 US can build that thing over there that you see over there. And if you getting $30,000 just for constituency visit, $5,000 can build, and the people there will do it themselves if you just give them the direction. So we should leave from here. The money, the taxes that we are paying, people are paying. We should leave from here and take our personal money because we love the country. Then those that are budgeting, they don't love the country.
But Mr. Gimman and Dr. Peabody and Myean, look, I think all of us here, the three of us here, we are involved in Liberia. For instance, my Firestone group, in fact, we're about to meeting in Virginia this year, Richmond. We meet every year. The district that Ava Jones is in, District 2, Magibie County, we constructed a modern library that cost over $150,000. That library, if you go to that library, I'll bring a picture tomorrow, so we'll put it up here. That library, you think a library that's in the States, everything is there. We have a solar panel that we got from China that provide correct. We didn't stop there. We took the school, the high school that next to the library. We built an annex to it. We even provided chairs, everything for the school. And then this year project we own the clinics in my Gibi area there. That's what we're trying to run on. But that's the library. Students that go there, they can study, they do research there. Everything. They got computer, we got laptops, everything there. We have a 24-hour staff, 24/7 staff is work at the library. That's what we do for our people, Bengali. But how can we do it when men like Abu Kamara is defending that kind of stuff? So, I mean, if I were him, I'll be quiet. That's anything you talk about. You saw the question they asked the chairman of Unity Party the other day. Is Unity Party, is the government corrupt? He got choked. He couldn't talk because he knows they're corrupt. He was caught unaware. He couldn't talk because he knows they're corrupt. So everybody involved. On go to Liberia, every year we go to Liberia, we didn't go to Jeff to go and marry make. We got projects there, personal projects, and we got community projects that we're engaging. Okay?
But is he aware, Tomalin, is he aware how many money Liberians remit to Liberia every year?
I was educated. I would know better. I would to come and defend. It's troubling, Abu, because all of you guys are affected because they imagine. Look at the national budget. See the kind of money that people spend for generators, for fuel oil. And look at the children living. How expect the children to learn in that kind of condition? Then you defend it. No, but that video I will put on my page. I will write about it. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. Then attack that. And can you imagine? But again, the people when they vote for tomorrow election, kind of vote for the same people. They probably got the people. They'll kind of fool you. Can you rest? Can you say, "Oh, I'll put your own scholarship"? Time the team finish, it's gone. Sure.
Myean, if you can do all you can to get to Mr. Rogers, we really love to talk to him. He is, I'll follow him when they send me the video. I send it directly to Myean. I say, we got to play this.
Y'all please get that guy. Let's talk about
things.
We'll publicize it.
Can you imagine children, okay? Children sitting over there and they, I guess the teacher there may be maybe a volunteer teacher, because when you read on the board, your sister is your woo. Then the child will respond, okay, your mom, brother is your woo, is your uncle. Your sister is your woo. Everybody's stuck because, it's shocking. What do you mean my sister is my woo? Okay, my sister is my sister. It just doesn't make sense, because this is what.
And mind you, education minister, for disclaimer, she's a first cousin to my kid's mom. So it's not to say I know her very well. She's very fun. We lived in Rhode Island together. When she went for many years in Rhode Island, she moved to Delaware. In fact, her sister is married to Senator DeLong's brother, and I know the family very well. Okay, and so I will send her that video too. I will send it to her directly. Yes, I will send it to her. Yes,
it's sad.
It's sad.
Mm-hmm.
It's sad that in this day and age, in Liberia 2025, we have a classroom for our young kids, our future leaders, and our kids in America, they all get laptop. They try and go to school. Tell them go to school. The next they get in, they all have the laptop. They do their work from the laptop. I mean, I remember I can tell one last. Oh my God, people writing on a board. Oh God, damn it. Oh Lord. Hey.
Well, when we say education is all right, people. The last time I saw the education minister would say the president is supplying school with desks, and she had it all over the place that schools will have desks, and they were showing the desks. I wonder, did you know that they don't even have rocks to sit on here? I'm not even talking about desks. So these are the PR thing we're talking about, all about propaganda. Go ahead, Chief.
It's sad, big boss. It's sad, it's very sad that this day and age, look how the people learning, train learning. Look at train learning.
But too many. I went to a school when we first attempted to build our school in Orange School. I went to a school where the children were in a little house with no roof, and the kids, it was raining, and the kids were in that classroom, no roof, and there were mud all on the floor, and those kids were sitting there. And I said to myself, how can children sit here and go to school and learn? How can they do something like that? You know, even in Nima, we went to Nima one time. The school was building Nima. The kids were going to somebody's house, and when that person gets off the farm, the main classes were over by the day. The person go to the farm early in the morning, about 11:30, 12. They come back, then main classes were over, and those kids will go home. You know, and that's one of the reasons. Normally, people have seen the need to do things. Education. I would want us to. Can we play that video back again?
Yeah, Maya play that video.
Yeah, so let me play the video. The video is already.
Abu, that's Abu. I tell you, defending. You want to defend? You left your child to go to school in a condition. Something. If I were you, I would just say, answer nothing. No comment. But you defend this guy because he's partisan.
But is that we're going to be on the show?
Yes.
Because
they are the people who's supposed to report back to central office and tell the people what is happening. There's another class here. Oh wow.
It may should be Tanisha from I think Heaven, right?
This is the Ministry of Education. This is district number 7, former district. The lawmaker for this district is who for the family. Yeah. Come closer. Yeah. That blabo. That what the Ministry of Education pay for that blabo here. That blabo. So what I want to do now, I come and move inside here. So I will close the window so I can be sleeping now. And you see it? A black boy out. Get the chairs on the bench.
Wow.
How do you describe when education is not a privilege? We see one, I don't know how to describe it. See over there? Fellow Liberians. I'm out of words.
No one thing about so yeah. What you about for? Yeah, go for
I think the only thing we can carry is the only positive thing, even though they have to whip to whip. There's the kitchen. This is farmer. This kuya in this cereal for the family. One of the largest muff in the house for the family. And I never represented the people of this cereal farmer. Lower Bon County. Yellow. Yellow, yeah. All right, folks. Well, the time will come. Your time will come. Your time will come. We'll continue. We'll pause the video for now. We'll show you the sample. We'll conclude. Pause it. So you continuation of the video. So we're going to climax right here. This is the big sample to fool you. Yeah. This is the Pemba Public School. Pemba Former. This is former. You see that former district here. You see a fellow Liberians. You see it. When you can't see the sample here now, when you see the sample, you would think, yeah, Ministry of Education, yeah, show the light, right? The other words you don't see it. Yeah, Ministry of Education, they big sample and they tell you want to pay for this sample here, you're not to print it, you're not believe it. So we're going to conclude, folks. We got to go our time. It's a beautiful day, and we've been around since this morning. So we're making our way back to Bon Mines. We'll stop the Packer Town for a while, but you have seen it for yourself. Because of network, it is difficult. It is so difficult. But again, share the video on this Saturday, 7 June 2025. My name is Daniel Rogers. I'm a sheriff in the Code of Public Opinion. ABS on camera, my senior reporter is over there. Share the video. Have yourself a wonderful weekend.
You see that? And you know, you see, the problem guy, Bankari Lasana. He said we said that political platform. So we want to talk about it. We're talking about it, and he having a problem with it.
No, but I think that what he said. He said this is the same thing others said.
Man,
but the moment we get it,
others now. Forget about others. Who there right now? The others are not there. The others are not there. No, the others are not there. No, the others are not there because they did it wrong. So you there now?
I may come in now.
Man.
Anyway, greetings to Mr. Gayman, Pewee, Myean, and Kubi. I just here for shop, bro. Let me come in at money.
You come because it's for the shop here because they're attacking the government.
No, I've been issue. I've been working on some stuff so that reading. I don't want to come on the show.
We'll talk about your background, man. Because
I can speak a little for a minute or two.
Speak on it.
Okay. I mean, acknowledge, right, that the building is actually in a deplorable condition. It's not a conducive area for people who acquire knowledge. Is it an old age problem? Yes, it is. Excluding that building, there are a couple of infrastructures that even more even way far deplorable more than the structure that we just saw. But for one to believe because that structure is as it is, the government is not looking into the direction of our people to, be a modern structure. I don't think so. The representative to do more.
Let's move to our guest. The first thing is that when you said don't defend it. You've been in power for almost 2 years, and as a minister of education, the first thing we would have done Well, I don't know. They will ask for all the schools, the public schools in the country. You have a data of all public schools in the country. And but now,
So Tomalin,
yes,
are you not aware that the Ministry of Education announced of recent? I think a month ago that not to the Minister of Finance that the government will be renovating 150 schools across the country. They did not follow that.
man, I don't want for the fact that 2 years, but now that school shouldn't be.
No, but I said 2 years. We have not gone 2 years. What is it 2 years?
Shouldn't be in existence right now.
We have not gone 2 years, Chief. We've gone 1 year some months. Why is it 2 years?
Man, don't.
We have not gone 2 years. I'm not defending anything, but to make it appear like no, I'm not defending anything, but it is an old age problem. In fact, Mr. Gayman is the one that sent it to me in my inbox today earlier. And I told him there's an old age problem. He sent it to me.
The problem is not always change. We want change. The government came to rescue the country, right?
Is the government taking steps to change?
Come on. We've been hearing that. That's an old age excuse. We're taking steps. We're working on.
We are taking steps. The government is taking steps.
Yeah.
We got other competing priorities.
You see,
we just saw a video that is so disgusting, making you feel sick at the stomach. And this man got few. He was watching Cloud Reloaded. They gave because a government channel. He has to be there. They gave him 5 minutes. They gave him 5 minutes to leave and come here and debunk and run back. But he didn't go to do that. But some people welcome. What do you think about the video?
Thank you. I think it's quite unfortunate.
Okay, for that reason, I will still here, Mr. Gayman.
Go ahead, Pewee.
No, I see.
Abu, you want? Let me see what I want to say.
Go ahead, Ochi. Good to see you, though.
Thank you.
Okay, I will get to see it.
I think it's quite unfortunate that Abu will even sit and want to basically move. I recall 2014. I did a tour of Vaporu County, in the I think the Boporu district or so. There was I think the Boporu district, yes. I visited a very huge town there called Myean, and this the exact same condition. What we did at the time, the New Progressive Movement, we took the initiative to renovate that place and provided assorted educational materials and put in some benches and the rest of that in. But here's what I will say. I can recall Madam Salif, I think, suspended or her Minister of Education or seriously blasted him in Nuku time when she visited there some time ago. I think it was in her first term when she saw the slaying of the D12 high school almost coming down. The president instructed that all the students should leave immediately. She was very angry that day. He said, in this day and age, right here in Mosurado County. She was very blue about that. Imagine. And that we're talking about D12 high school. Now, let's go back to Foreman District there and see one of the lawmakers that's part of our own generation. But that's very loud. Ain't talking about removing people illegally, but if you neglect, you see that part of the reason why you neglect your fiduciary responsibility and then try to anchor it from different perspectives. These are some of the things that can come out. And and the guy did a very good job. He saw what he did. He showed those sample that would pay thousands of dollars on, and they said Ministry of Education. Right there, you see under the kind of the condition the kids are learning in. Right, you see, and I mean, Abu, you came in to rescue this issue. Let's agree, you say it's an age-old problem. It's part of the age-old problem that you got elected today as a unity party government again. I mean, they just proved that your president is not only incompetent, but he's unable. Because if the president cannot supervise his corps of lieutenants very effectively, that president is incompetent and does not require the Liberian people to even have the kind of person say they're going to contest again for the Liberian presidency. It's kind of unfortunate. And I mean, we need to amplify that. The condition the kids are learning, it's unfair. I want to believe you got children or you should have a child. Yeah. Can your son or daughter land under those kind of conditions? Me put it because too many didn't want to ask you the question. Can your son or daughter go near
I know the answer. The answer is no. But anyway,
no, but I have a comment. Let me respond.
Keep your response.
Let me respond.
Abu, let's finish the thing.
And the very education minister children here going to the best of school.
Oh yes.
And they will say to hell with the system on this side. They just can't to get whatever money will get a big contract for chairs and furnitures. They will squander those resources and allow the children to languish in kind of poverty rating way of going to school.
Mr. King George, can you have a guest?
Yeah, bring a guest. Yeah, okay. Yeah, we have today Mr. Ashwa Watkins. Yes, you know, the issue about NOCAL, the National Oil Company of Liberia, have been in the news. Hey, man. Have been in the news all along, and it's only important that we invite someone who knows a lot about NOCAL, who invested in NOCAL. Mr. Ashwa Watkins. He's been, in fact, Mr. Gimman. I'll send you his little. You can just give an intro about him before we start getting going.
Yes, Mr. Ashford, you got quite a resume here. I know you don't like to tap your own horn and that, but quite impressive for a young man. As a senior petroleum research analyst at the National Oil Company of Liberia, NOCAL, he was tasked with the critical responsibility of managing public expectations. Is that what it is? We're managing public expectations? Is that what it is?
Yes, sir.
And spearheading stakeholders' education. I mean, it goes on and on and on. Mr. Ashford, listen, I can't say it better than you can say it. Tell us, what is it that NOCAL is? What did you do there? And your experience actually at that particular, because we're coming to something here. We just heard, I think the president made a decision that I think the country should take into court on by circumventing the actual constitutional responsibility of the legislative body, circumventing them and giving 100% of shareholder responsibility to NOCAL. And his response was, well, going through the legislative body takes too long. We just want to cut to the chase and want to deal with NOCAL directly. That is illegal. But Mr. Watkins, talk to us about NOCAL.
So thank you very much. This is my very first time ever appearing on any talk show to discuss NOCAL or anything concerning. So I'm Ashwa Watkins. I have an MBA degree in International Oil and Gas Management. I'm PMP certified. I'm a certified Microsoft Data Analyst. I'm a certified IBM Cybersecurity Analyst. And I'm a certified Quality Control Construction Project Manager. So before we go into NOCAL, let me give an overview of myself. I currently work with the U.S. federal government, the Federal Aviation Administration, as a project manager, leading aviation infrastructure critical development project across the U.S. So coming back to Liberia, I was the first Liberian that was educated in altogether MBA, International Oil and Gas Management. We have some other people in the technical field, geologists, petroleum engineer, but I was the first Liberian to get such credential. So the goal at that time was Mr. Christopher Neal's administration was to build a basket of qualified Liberians to capacitate them in the different fields in the oil and gas sector, so that by the time we reach commercial discovery, we have Liberian qualified to manage the oil and gas sector.
1 minute. God, let everybody mute, please, so we don't get feedback. Yeah, go ahead, Chief.
Yeah, so the oil and gas is a fixed science. It requires technicians, it requires expertise, it requires people with technical background to manage the sector. So I joined NOCAL after I went NOCAL Senior School. A bunch of us, meaning Big Robert Jackson Edwin family, all the way Hannah, Fred Fondo, Fred Colorado. You have the other few, John Harris, and the other people who are the first black Liberians sent overseas to get credential in the oil and gas sector. And just for the records, NOCA didn't send people to just enter schools. They sent all the best schools in the oil and gas industry to come back to serve the country. So, so the whole policy about NOCA, before then, NOCA was a beautiful institution. NOCA was the higher generator of the national revenue. When we came back from NOCA, we got gain for the employed. But to come back, to stick to the issue about Liberia, the president giving oil block to Liberians, it has its own plus and minuses, right? Nationalizing an oil block is no problem, right? Because it gives the owners, the country, full autonomy over those oil blocks. And many countries around the world have nationalized oil blocks. And we should ask the question, is it nationalization or transfer title? Because if you give ownership to Liberia or to NOCA, which represent Liberians are managing those oil blocks, what do they do with this oil block? Do they go and turn it over and then go find the same way to a national oil company to kind of get 10% share, 15% share in those oil blocks? Or do you go into a service contract? And now there are three types of contracts when it comes to petroleum, oil, and gas. You have concession, you have concession contracts, you have production sharing contract, and you have rig service agreements. Or productions or concession contract on oil and gas is where the government sign a concession to come and explore for a period of time. The government has no control over those arrangements. Now, a production sharing contract is wherein the country owns the resources, the oil blocks. They bring in an international oil company to come and bring their own resources, their own technology, their own equipment to explore the oil blocks. If they make this discovery, now the country come in. So now that you have made this discovery, a portion of this will be given to you as a cost. It's called cost oil. After you have deducted your cost, the balance oil in place will be profit oil. You take a percentage, the government take a percentage. Now, when it comes to giving NOCA ownership of this oil block, the best and first option NOCA should take is going to a rig service agreement. A rig service agreement is wherein the country NOCA owns these oil blocks, go and hire the service of a reputable oil company to say, okay, we don't have the technology, we don't have the finance, we don't have the capacity to develop the oil block. So Mr. Company X or Chevron, right? Let's use Chevron for example, or Total Oil in Ghana. We have this national asset. It's for the country, but we don't have the capacity to develop the oil block. Come and develop this oil block for us, right? And now we asking, for example, Total is develop the oil blocks. You found 1 billion barrel of crude oil in the oil block. Because we pay in a service contract, you are going to take at least take the first 250 million barrels of crude oil in the oil block as your pay. So you pay them off, they pack their bed, they go. They don't have no equity in the remaining oil in place. Everything in place remains for the country. If that's the methodology, it's a good thing. Because why? Now the net oil in place, after service has been paid, the company has been paid for the service, the net oil becomes the national interest. Now the country can decide how to do with those revenue, divide according to the county, or citizen about equity in those oil blocks, whichever way please. But now the disadvantage is, if those oil blocks have been given to NOCA, right? And then NOCA decides it because other people did it in the past, saying we have the oil block, we got a company in the corner that said we'll give you a 20% share in the oil block. Because right now, the current arrangement under the production sharing contract, 10% is like 10% equity is a free carry interest for the government. And you have another 5% as citizen participation. So right now the country has 15% interest, free carry interest in these oil blocks. But now, another arrangement will say, okay, because we have the oil block, let's go to New York, let's go to London, let's go to Paris, we'll go find investor. We're going to find investor. The investor come to the country. Oh, Mr. Investor, can't get out. We say we'll give you 25% or 20% equity to come and take the oil block. We gave the party 20% equity in the oil block. They discover the oil. How many Liberians right now can afford to raise the millions of dollars to drill for oil? Just a day of oil rig is on your basin. It costs $1 million a day to drill for oil well. And you're not just drilling for 1 day. On average, between 60 to 90 days. And when you do the discovery, you got to do development because you got exploration, you got appraisal, you got development, we go to production and decommissioning. So when you go through this entire process, it's financial intensive. How many Liberians in the country right now have the capacity right now to go and say, okay, we have 40 million, say we are generating 40 million, let's go and invest in this oil block. If you do it, because it's a probability, the fact that the assessment data say you got oil in this place, you go and drill for oil, you don't find the oil, you got dry hole. Your money lead in the dry hole. So it's a technical issue. We understand what those 4 oil block means. What if it is a nationalized oil field? I believe we can invoke the rig service clause, the rig service agreement, and then go and get international company. You have Venezuela. Venezuela nationalized the oil field. Even Alaska nationalized the oil field. But nationalization gave the country total equity over the oil blocks. Now that we want to do transfer title. Because what people want to do right now is a transfer title. When you say we go get an oil block, they're going to find investor. Because right now, the current arrangement in place, any Liberian right now in Liberia, any Liberian can go and find a reputable investor to come and, based on assessment data, can come and buy share and invest in the Liberia data. And how does NOCA generate revenue? 1 minute. How does
but you can't. You have to stop in the time that we enter because. Sorry, Chief. Sorry for that. What I want us to do is that you give me a very useful information. So someone just sent me a message that you really inform them very well, but you should take some time while we ask the question and then you respond to the question, and it should be a little bit slow. They say it should be a little slow because someone try to take note of the first 9 years of oil and gas and other thing. So I just thought to bring that. So it's going to be interactive. It's not going to be a holistic monologue. So I just thought to provide this. But you can go ahead.
Thanks for putting the checkpoints. I appreciate that.
Yeah, go ahead.
So this is how oil is get. Let's give an overview of Liberia oil sector. We say Liberia got oil. That's historical Liberia oil sector, Liberia basin, right? I was one of the custodians of Liberia oil and gas asset, oil and gas information. My job at NOCA manage public expectation in oil and gas sector, educate, inform, and keep the public informed about the oil and gas sector. Couple of my key achievements, the petroleum law of Liberia, the petroleum policy of Liberia local content policies. So these were key documents we developed that is currently in use in Liberia. So oil, in the whole world right now, the hottest spot on the earth for oil and gas exploration is the Gulf of Guinea, right? The Gulf of Guinea coming from Nigeria, coming down to Ghana, Ivory Coast, Guinea, Sierra Leone, Liberia. This is the hottest place in the world for oil and gas exploration. Why is that? Because most of the area around the world, the oil has been discovered in the Middle East, in other parts of the world. Those are sour crude. And the crude are greater based on the sulfur content in the crude. According to the American Petroleum Institute standards, the API content. If the API content in your crude oil is high, it's a sour crude. That means it requires a lot of fragmentation to get the end product. Now, if the API content is low, like in the region of Liberia and other West in the Gulf of Guinea, it doesn't require a lot of chemical breakdown to get the end product. So it's high demand basin. So in that instance, Liberia right now, NOCA generate revenue. Just to see Liberia data, Liberia got a company called TGS NOPEC. They are the geological company that come and explore Liberia data, interpret the data, go in the ocean, want to be able to send sound with the earth basin, and those sound will send the data back to get different samplings. Just to see the data back in the days, it costs $1 million to see Liberia data. So if we get 1 billion company in the world want to see Liberia data, we make $1 million easy on a single day. And right now in the region, according to data, I'm talking about data, I'm speaking about data. Right now, Liberia has a huge reserve, though not verified based on drilling and discovery, but according to the Sesame Science, has determined that Liberia has huge potential when it comes to hydrocarbon. Sierra Leone next door discovered oil in the Jubilee oil, in the Venus oil field. Ghana discovered oil in the Jubilee oil field. Ivory Coast discovered oil on the oil field. So Liberia, based on all of this discovery, Liberia has huge prospects. But now we're still got to go and drill to be able to identify and confirm. So Liberia got a good prospect. We just got to put our act together. That's all I can say for now.
Okay. Now, I'm a regular guy who doesn't understand all the technology, technicalities, and everything. And I want to monetize. I want to own part of Liberia. How would Nuka do that for a regular Liberian like you and myself to actually own share? And how can we trust the system that when I invest my money in Liberia, because we heard that they sold bonds and they can't honor those things and all that. How does that work? How do you monetize it to benefit the average person?
I mean, bond and other things is a risky venture. There's no guarantee on return on your investment because it depends on market volatility. If the market performs, you're going to get return on your investment. So it's oil and gas. So the current arrangement in place under the Citizen Participation Fund, the 5%, citizens can put their money together and buy shares, equity in that fund. So each of those oil blocks, 5% in each of those oil blocks. So let's say 30 oil blocks giving 5% each. So it's a huge investment fund. I mean, I don't know the number of oil blocks right now, but when I was there were 30 oil blocks, 17 offshore blocks, and 13 ultra deep water blocks. So if the country people can put their money in there to come and invest, they'll be able, if there's discovery is made in commercial quantity, because you got exploration. Exploration means you go and check what was on the data sheet. The data said, like, bro, if you drill in the hole here, you'll find 1 million barrel of crude oil. But it's not guaranteed you'll find a crude oil. You got to go and explore. Explore means you got to go and drill for oil. You got to go and dig the hole under the ocean. And then when you discover the oil, you got to do appraisal. Appraisal means whether the oil in place is worth investment. You got to be able to measure the length, the weight, and the depth of the reservoir in place, the oil in place in the reservoir, to determine whether it's economically viable to make investment. If they do the measurement and then it's not enough, they call it dry hole. Dry hole means it's not worth investment. But if, to answer your question, if they measure the oil in place is commercially viable, it means they have plenty of oil in the hole. I mean, when you put your money in the hole, you get profit out of your money. They say commercial quantity. Then you got to do a development platform. You got to take out the exploration well, drill ship, bring a development ship into the development oil field. You got to move from upstream. You got to build a mainstream network. So with all those in place now, when you start producing the crude oil, oil produces billions, not millions or thousands. So it's a water venture to invest in. And the nationalized oil field are giving the oil blocks to Liberia or to Liberians. How can citizens benefit in that arrangement? Citizens can benefit under the service agreement, under the rig service agreement. One of the ways is that under the service contract, nobody can say, now that we have this oil block, but we don't have the capacity to develop this oil block. So what do? Let's hire the service of an international recognized company to come and develop the oil block, who will pay them for their service with number of block or barrels of oil in place. For example, if they discover 1 billion barrel in block 13, right? Say, okay, for your service and for your profit, everything you do, take 300 million barrel of crude oil in a reservoir to cover your expenses and profit. As you pay them off, they pack the Satoka to go. When they pack the Satoka to go, it means that the bottom 700 million barrel of oil in place is a national asset. Now the government decide, okay, because in exploring the oil block, you can say, okay, the 5% is to get more share, to benefit more from the distribution. So if any citizen that can raise $1 million, $5 billion to contribute towards the exploration costs, right? To be able to do pre-financing everything, you will get this percentage. So you will get more equity based on the number of investment you put in. So if there's 700 million barrel oil in place, the government distribute the oil revenue to Bayonne County, whichever means the government feels. 1 minute, please.
Thank you. Just before you come back, Victor, welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Gomez. Good to be here, man. What's up, guys? And let me also say hi to our audience. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget, share the show, invite a friend.
Good. Victor, our guest is here. Any question real quick before he goes on to the next topic?
Yeah, thank you very much. And Mr. Watkins, it is kind of you to join us. Thank you for coming. Tell us a little bit, what does it mean when you are charged with managing expectation. Exactly what does that mean?
Okay, so that's a beautiful question. So my role in Liberia when I worked with NOCA was to manage public exploitation in the oil and gas sector. People might have been abused and misused and bastardized by myths that when you say oil, I mean you gotta go do palm oil, red oil, coconut oil, right? So my role was about to educate the public on the oil and gas sector, and it was also time responsibility to interpret the petroleum policy. So the first document we work on like petroleum policy. The petroleum policy was the first one was drafted in 2002. We used that as a source document to prepare like petroleum policy. The policy didn't inform the petroleum law because the law does not come into vacuum. There should be some policy document in place for which will be built upon to create the law. So in order to develop petroleum policy, we went to all 15 counties. We conducted roundtables, public engagement forums, lecture series, workshops, seminars. We went overseas and all. And we explained the law, the policy to the people. We solicited the input. What is it you want to see in the petroleum policy? We carry a template of them because in order to educate people, you must have a template. We give them, this is what we have, right? But we explain it to them. Do you like it or do you want to add something to this policy? They gave the input. We went to all 15 counties, all districts across the country. When we came back to Monrovia, we prepared the final draft petroleum policy. It was then approved by legislature. At that time, it was Edith Starler who was speaker. When we created the policy, we created the petroleum law. The petroleum law, the policy was the bedrock foundation for the petroleum law. The petroleum law, the most important were the stabilization clauses in the law. So we have to take that law to the people, explain the law to the people. What is it you want to hear in the petroleum law? What is your input? Kind of local content? What does local content policy mean for Liberia? Because this is what Liberians participate in the petroleum sector through the local content policy. In the petroleum policy, we created the petroleum law, and then we went to the local content policy. If we prepare the local content policy, we went to Nigeria, we went to Ghana, we went to Equatorial Guinea, we went to the UK, we reviewed the local content policy, and we came up with drafted Liberia local content policy. And the local content policy, it gave preferential rights to Liberia when it comes to jobs, services, and employment. And the local content policy, the law says, if an oil block has been relinquished, so by right, most of the things have been violated. But in the petroleum law, on the local content policy, it says that every relinquished oil blocks become for local investors only. So by right, all of those oil blocks that have been relinquished to the government under the petroleum law, it should have been kept for only Liberians to go and find credible partners to come and invest in those oil blocks. It should have been redemarcated. So by doing that, they violated the law. But anyway, they updated the law. They did a new law. And then another way you get great. I mean, you gotta be. It's a risky venture. There's no chance you'll find oil in commercial quantity. But if you can get your money, and then there are all the policy says that certain services, catering, masoners, janitorial services, providing goods and services, is exclusively for Liberian businesses. So you can either benefit through buying equity or providing services. And on the oil rig, people organize their company, HR company, provide services, workforce to these oil companies that are drilling for oil. So the opportunities are numerous. But the challenge is we don't have the capacity right now. If oil is discovered in Liberia right now, there'll be a lot of foreigners taking over all the jobs. Because why? We don't have the technical skill set right now required to manage the workforce. Right now, as it stands, we're saying to exploration. So Liberia should be building capacity in the technical expertise. Because on all of these oil rigs, they require Liberian engineers, Liberian geologists to monitor the petroleum outcome, the number of barrels of oil produced per day. So what happens if we have some additional sociology on the oil rig, on Exxon oil rig, and as they're collecting the data, Exxon said we're not produce 100,000 barrels. In actuality, they produce 500,000 barrels. The company lose. So the opportunities are very much, but we don't have the capacity right now. It will discover oil right now in Liberia So foreign will take over the jobs. We need more petroleum engineers. We need more geologists. We need more geophysicists. And Liberia got expertise. We got no expertise. We need to expand upon them. And no educated Liberians. I went to the University of Dundee. I did an MBA International Oil and Gas Management. You got Vincent Whitty. He got an MBA International Oil and Gas Management. You got Robert Jackson. You got Minnie Pigard. So we got local capacity in-house. But at the end of the day, we don't respect local capacities. We build the capacity and then at the end of them, we abuse them, we call them non-essential workers. That's why we left Liberia. I had a 25 years job guarantee contract with the government of Liberia. After spending hundreds of thousands of dollars to educate me, what did they do? They call me non-essential. We recommended NOCA. We told NOCA, now that the oil industry is going down, the oil price is falling, you can be able to maintain us on your boats. You can sell corners of the government to the University of Liberia. You can sell corners of the University of Liberia. They go teach. They transfer with expertise. They politicize everything.
Thank you.
Because everything like Liberia is politics. And we are technicians.
Thank you.
We're not into politics.
Mr. Pewee, I read an article, I think it was in either the New York Times or the BBC, and the headline was, "Is oil discovery in Liberia a curse or a blessing?" Your question to our friend and technical man, guy who knows everything about the oil industry. For those of you who don't know, what is it that you want to add onto the discussion and the questions?
Thank you so dearly. You're welcome, Mr. Watkins. I think all of you, and thank you also. You know, you reminded me of I don't know who now the first, because when you started, you said you were the first to get a master's in oil and gas. So then
MBA, International Oil and Gas Management. I'm not saying engineer, oil and gas management.
Oil and gas management. But you reminded me back in the days when our man Lester Tenney came. He said he was the only person, the only oil and gas expert in Liberia at the time was saying all these things. But just reminded me of that. But on a serious note, I followed you before, and that meant say thank you for your service to the country. Then I don't know who deemed you to be unessential, but I don't think you looked at one of those. But again, let me ask you this first basic question before we move through quickly, because we don't have time. Do you think in the because we've been having, before we had this Block 13 and other from 2012, 2013, most of those things are going, they know there were millions of dollars that were pumped in when they were doing a lot of offshore drilling and all of things. Do you, from your expertise, because you are basically very knowledgeable in the oil and gas area, do you think Liberia got anything in commercial quantity that we can find back in our country in terms of the oil and gas? Do we have anything in very good commercial quantity that reliable international companies, oil companies, can move? Because you just said even on a daily basis, and I listened to before the former deputy minister and at the Ministry of Finance. I followed the first time I ever went to one of the hearing when he's not in the area, but the way he handled it as though he's on the up, and he has said that it's very expensive, very expensive. And you just acknowledged that it would take like $1 million a day, right? So do we really have that commercial quantity that will require big time international company to pull back as they did 2013 and moving forward?
Yeah, so to just answer, I will talk about another rhetorical question, right? Have you asked yourself, right, any of the rational Liberians, why would a Chevron, an Exxon, right, African Petroleum, all of these super majors, and they call super major because why? They don't come to your country if you got shallow reserve, right? They don't come to your country to fight for oil, by the way, they fight for oil because you just get some level of oil reserve. When an Exxon or Chevron in your country means you have huge prospects. And I said, let's go to Block 13, the most famous Block 13. Let's look at the geology beyond Block 13. Mm-hmm. Right. In appraising an oil field, right? You got after you have done the exploration to appraise the oil field, So they got the P1 to P10, right? P1 means the P10 to P50 or P100 rather. So a 10% probability, or 10% probability of finding oil in black 13 to 100% probability of finding oil in black 13. And this information these are public information, right? It's online. You can verify this information. So I'm not giving you all of talking out of my head. And you can also check on African Petroleum, also on Exxon Black 13 data, or 10% probability of finding oil in Black 13. You will find nothing less than a 1.5 billion barrel of crude oil. To 100% probability, P100, you will find a 2.7 billion barrel of crude oil. These are just probabilities, right? So between the P10 to the P100, you got the P50. What the show of finding based on data, assessment data. A P50 means you'll find nothing less than 2 billion barrel of crude oil in Black 13. So imagine why you saw an Exxon going to the Repsol, the Russian oil company, to kill for Black 13. And Exxon is one of the biggest companies in the world when it comes to revenue size. And now, not just Black 13, the Harper Basin. What do we know about the Harper Basin? Because the people that are managing the oil sector, I guess they have this information, but they don't share the information with the public. Liberia has the Harper Basin of adding 12 years in power. There was a moratorium placed on the Harper Basin. Harper Basin is from Maryland, Sino, that whole basin is from Block 1 to Block 5. I think they have renumbered those blocks. So we need to know the Harper Basin, based on geology and science, it holds nothing less than 5 billion barrel recoverable crude oil. And when I say recoverable crude oil, it means that there are technology in actually producing this oil reservoir. You can inject technology to pre-produce and to produce more crude oil. So those blocks, imagine, just happened in Black 13. We've discovered a 1.5 billion barrel of crude oil in Black 13. A barrel of oil right now is about between $60 to $80 per barrel. We're talking about trillions of dollars, right? From Black 13. Then we go to Harper Basin. And another discovery for Liberia, no. The Black 13 offshore oil and Chevron well, Black 11, 12, and 14, the oil matured till it came onshore. So Liberia has both offshore and onshore oil potential.
Okay.
Part of Marshall, part of the airport, sits on the mature oil fields. The reference point, go to YouTube right now, go to YouTube, go to SEMA Energy. SEMA Energy was the only company that was given reconnaissance license to explore, to do onshore oil and gas exploration in Liberia. Watch the report that CEO was presenting. The man says, according to data, I've seen those data. The oil mature onshore, offshore, it came onshore. So Liberia has both onshore and offshore potential. What are we doing right now with these national assets, right? And the president giving 4 oil blocks to Liberian, to Noka. It's all good. It could be a blessing. It could be a curse. It could be a blessing in the sense that we go into a service contract. It's hard to do because not much more trust Liberia right now because we don't have potential reserve when it comes to oil. We have not produced oil before. But what another method they could do is that we produce the other oil blocks, all the other oil blocks we got, and when we build our capacity, we generate revenue. Now, in the next 5 to 10 years, we have built more engineers, we have built more geologists, we have built more petroleum geophysicists. So now, in over 10 years from now, we have the capacity, we have the financial investment.
Yeah,
to develop oil block ourselves.
Let me make a quick follow-up on that. Before I rest it quick. You know, at the front page, Africa reported something that said the headline was immature or disruptive, if you will. Is it prudent? Let me use the word. Is it prudent? You in the fee, because the president's decision recently of giving the president of Liberia awarded 100% ownership of 4 offshore oil blocks to the National Oil Company of Liberia, and you alluded to that. But is it prudent for the president to do that without first seeking legislative intervention? Because the legislature should move to do at what point? Is it necessary for you to go to the legislature? Is it for the president to take a unilateral decision to just give it to the oil company without seeking the intervention of the legislature?
I mean, what we always try to make politics or everything in Liberia, we take little things and make politics out of it.
No, it's not politics. It's
1 minute. I'm going to your question. I'm going to your answer.
Let me start the basics for you. You alluded to the law, and the oil sector also do have a law that regulates the oil sector. I'm saying to you, you in the sector already, is it lawful or is it in violation of the laws that govern the oil sector that the president would unilaterally take the decision to give full offshore ownership, full offshore block to the national oil company without seeking the intervention of the legislature? That's my question to you.
Yeah, I mean, I was coming to your question, but I mean, you could reach to Moria either through Ghana Bay, Single, or come from all Mama Point, still be on Broad Street.
Okay,
right?
Take me to Broad Street.
Right, so I mean, I could decide to use or come from all Nipple Street, I can't show up or use Macklin Street, right? So I would decide how I get to Broad Street.
Go ahead.
So to answer the question, I mean, we gotta know what the law says. Does the law that mean who gave out white blocks? Who go out of the country to bring investors to get white blocks? Is the executive, right?
They have to rectify. There should be a rectification.
What mean now? You answer a question. Give me answer a question. If you disagree with me,
yeah,
right. So I'm being rhetorical. So the executive is the one, the president, the one that go and find investors to get white blocks, and the president. I mean, we got 30 white blocks, right, my people? We got 30 white blocks, or whichever number of the other new arrangement. What's the harm giving 4 of those 30 white blocks for Liberians' ownership? It means it's only for Liberians. For example, we discover 1 billion barrel each of the oil blocks. We get 4 billion barrel, 4 oil blocks. You know how many revenue we get for those oil blocks? Even we get service contract. We pay people to come and produce the oil. We pay them the part that better go. You know how much revenue we get for the country? Everyone I bring and send home. I was in Johannesburg. I went for an OPEC conference. I met some my guys then who work for Conoco Phillips and other guys that work for Rapso. The guys said, do you know Liberia become the Kuwait in Africa? Every Liberian still home and get paid, and foreigners work for us.
We've been hearing this for long now.
We have population of 5 million people with excess reserve when it comes to oil and gas alone. We just gotta be able to trust the process, because to come back to your question, I don't know what the law says, but this is the executive and will initiate white blacks. If the president get white blacks to local, it's upon NOCAD now to be able to say, Mr. President, we want to sign a production sharing contract, right? So NOCAD can now take that white blacks if they have the capacity right now. If NOCAD got all the capacity right now, say, Mr. President, we want to go into a production sharing contract. Because what happens? The petroleum law says that upon commercial discovery of crude oil, NOCAD will relinquish itself, will be split into 3 entities. There'll be a petroleum directorate, a Ministry of Petroleum, and NOCAD. NOCAD become like a commercial oil company. So in this instance right now, NOCAD is acting as a commercial oil company or national oil company. We all know around the world, you have GNPC, you have NNPC in Nigeria, you got other companies, got national oil company. These national oil companies they go drill for oil in offshore basin. Because why? They have the technology, they have the investment, they have the experience, the expertise. So NOCAD is acting now as an oil company on behalf of the state. So NOCAD is a state-owned oil company. NOCAD can go and drill for oil. If NOCAD find that oil, if NOCAD had the money right now, so in one of those oil blocks, they drill the oil, they find oil commercial quantity, they develop the oil, they develop the oil field, all the money becomes for the state. NOCAD is just an entity representing the state.
Good. 1 minute. Okay, we're coming. King George.
Thank you. Again, let me say thank you, Mr. Watkins, for honoring this and the invitation to come here and help us, because I'm telling you, I'm getting a lot of text messages that there are people out hearing a lot of stuff tonight about NOCAD. And
you haven't heard that yet.
I was just informed that the acting president, Fabian Michael Lai, the vice president, Rex Basiga, for VP Technical Service, and also Emmanuel Azango. They are all, I think, all watching you now. And you are breaking a lot of news here tonight. Let me say this. But the question, Mr. Peabody, I think Mr. Gaben asked earlier, when the discovery of oil was made about Liberia, We all were happy. We celebrated. Liberians celebrated it. We thought we're about to be, like you said, we're about to be the Kuwait of Africa. We'll be rich. Our country will not be the eighth poorest nation in the world. But now, okay, I want you to tell us, why is it that with the discovery of oil more than almost 15 years ago, why is it that we are still dirt poor? Our oil, we still exporting and petroleum products in the country.
Well, do we have one? Do we have oil? We don't have it yet.
Okay, but maybe
we don't have it.
Okay, let you educate me now.
Yeah, you educate anyway.
Okay, to respond, I was in Edinburgh, in Scotland, when 2012.
My question,
when President Sanvee came to the war.
The man asked a question,
Sorry, I intervened, but we don't have it.
I'm going to say we had exploration, right? But I want to tell the story that we're told that when the issue of oil came to Liberia, I was told that Exxon Mobil and I think they came to Liberia and they left Liberia. Where they got from Liberia, they left from Liberia. And all kind of story here about this, about whether it's a myth or just a rumor. Tell us, why is it since this oil issue of Liberia came about?
People spend the money and get nothing.
Big companies came to Liberia. Our oil wasn't valuable or what? Our oil wasn't high grade or what? So why is it that we are not yet benefited from this whole thing?
Liberia, one of the first country in Africa to start exploring for oil in 1970s, right? Liberia drilled several oil wells in between 1970 to 2003, or up to the time we built our own Eden Johnson Sirleaf government. But oil, you have upstream, midstream, and downstream. Upstream is where you do drilling activity, what the oil rig is, what is drilling for oil. The midstream is the pipeline that connects upstream and downstream. So, and on what you got, it starts with reconnaissance license, you got exploration, appraisal. So, company like Exxon, they don't come to your country when you get, like I said, you get shot of basing. That's why you had COPL and all of those small companies like Kim, they took the risks, but that's what they do, right? And when they had a data, Liberia data, it was so lucrative to that point that the whole war was coming to Liberia, and not just Liberia. And there is also another based on data. There's a reservoir between Liberia and Sierra Leone, right? I mean, people in the educated public comes to Liberia. The people in power, they don't know the country asset, the potential, the prospects, and what it holds. And I will tell you, ExxonMobil, they kill nails to get a blood titan, right? I think you had the Russian company, I think it was Repsol, who wanted to get that block, but they said that I'm just going to go over it fast. They don't want to put a Russian company between two American companies, Exxon, Chevron. Exxon got block 13, Chevron got block 11, 12, and 14. It was all the politics. But I mean, I will see that the international oil companies, when it comes to your country like Chevron, Exxon, you must have a sizable reserve. And the reason why Liberia hasn't produced oil yet, because the politics. And when I was in Scotland, in Edinburgh, I went for vacation after my final exam. When Eden came to the war in 2012, we have oil. We have oil. And African petroleum, they call oil in black, LB9. Who knows this information? African petroleum, go on Google. Google, as I'm talking, fact check me, verify my information, right? When it comes to oil and gas, we are authority in oil and gas. That's why the government invested into us, educated us. But
let me provide the facts quickly while we move on the show, because on the African petroleum, they found oil, but not in commercial quantity. As we move, I will fact check some of the found oil.
Listen, my friend, I can give you data, right?
They want to make money. Why when it comes to invest, they want to make money. We didn't find oil in commercial quantity.
Do you? Okay, listen,
we will find it, but not yet. We didn't find it before any time. I mean, that would have provided a huge. It would have changed the landscape of our country moving forward. Right? They didn't find it in commercial quantity, my dear brother. I'm not doubting your competence. I understand you're very competent and the rest of that, but they didn't find it in commercial quantity. They didn't. You can go ahead.
Uncle, I'm not call you awkward about you just call, right?
Maybe
Right,
yes, you know,
right.
He is the official uncle.
On November 13, right? African Petroleum allows the war that discover oil. Do you that when a company like Chevron or this big company, right? Like when they can discover oil in your country, but if the environment is not right for investment, they will call that hole, they will cover that reservoir, they will call it a dry hole, they will go away for another 2, 3, 4 years and come out. Why do you ask yourself right now? Why is Chevron now coming back to Liberia? Chevron has expressed interest in 4 oil blocks, right? Block LB, I think it's block 12 and 13, 22 and 24, right? Chevron has expressed renewed interest. Uncle,
Mr. Watkins, let me ask you this.
It takes millions of investment. Just to conclude. Can you
quantify the estimated amount of oil that has been found in Liberia?
It gotta be appraised, right? So when you discover the oil, you tap in a reservoir. You don't know the geology, the width of that reservoir. Right. That's why they gotta take on the exploration rig and bring an appraisal rigs to appraise the oil field.
You do an educated guesstimate. Has any of that coming down?
Yeah, so I mean, according to I can go on African Petroleum website right now to give you actual information.
Okay. There was no oil for in Liberia commercial quantity, nothing whatsoever.
Do you know the reason? Do you know what happened when Exxon discovered oil when Eddie came to the war and so we got oil in Block 13? You know what happened? You know, I'm born to a confidentiality. I will not say this information, but I will tell you, Liberia have huge prospects. They packed that baby go out, they came out and said, well, in commercial quantity, we take them out of the war.
What kind of a confidentiality will you hold to not say that there's nothing, it's not anything classified?
Because I say confidential, I mean something, I didn't get inside information what happened in the car. Right, say that one. So I would say that. But I can tell you, Liberia has huge prospects. Okay. Right? I agree and African Petroleum, the president came to the war. And I was in when we came to Liberia, we know what happened in Noka. Liberia has huge right now because all of those black have been relinquished. So right now we say
huge prospect.
Because those black have been relinquished, so we cannot say we got oil because we're not developed, right? So to come out to agree with your points, we discover oil, but the oil not appraised to determine the barrel in place. So while it was relinquished back to the government, but the oil that was discovered they pointed to what I would know that was in a reservoir, it would have led to the development and going to production. But because of the election in 2017, the parties involved. But I mean, all I can say, Liberia, if Liberia can put act together, we put our law in place, our regulation in place, our incentive in place, and we should be able to, the president did by giving 4 oil blocks, it could be a burden, it could be a curse, it could be a blessing, it could be a curse, depending on how we manage those oil blocks, how we manage those 4 oil blocks. If we have 30 oil blocks, giving 4 blocks to Liberians for Liberian benefits for all Liberians, everybody should be happy because why? If managed well, listen to my word, if managed well, all that bring a benefit tremendously from those revenue, instead of sharing the revenue with international oil company.
Thank you.
That will come and get us oil, we'll get 5%, 10%, citizen participation, and profit oil. What else are getting profit oil shape and get 100% equity and in the profit?
Great. Let me welcome Mr. Chuchu Jones. How you doing, sir?
Thank you. I'm doing well. Enjoying the conversation.
Good. Your turn to ask your 2 questions. If you are
okay,
not ready,
sir. No, I'm always ready. I'm always ready. Okay, so first question here is this: most African countries, including Nigeria, have substantial oil reserve. In fact, Nigeria, I think, is 6th world producer of oil. You got Equatorial Guinea, and so are many countries in Africa. All of those countries are poor in terms of human capital, in terms of HDI. What makes you think, even if 1 billion barrel of oil was discovered in Liberia, Liberia with its useless government, corrupt administration, would be able to do it differently?
Yeah, I will answer. I mean, there is something they call the resource curse, right? The resource curse.
Correct.
That plunge a country that failed to manage the oil revenue base for end up in the pockets a very few politicians, right? So to answer that, that could be one of the reasons. I mean, those countries, those companies, the Equatorial Guinea, other countries, they're generating millions of billions of dollars from oil. Are the citizens benefiting? We could say the same. It's about to say it depends if Liberia can put a reform in place, put the check and balance, the institution in place to ensure transparency and accountability. We could learn from the mistakes of other African countries that they made, the mistakes they've made. We can be able to use lessons learned from those mistakes and be able to put a clear path as to how we're going to manage our revenue. There's the reason why Liberia started. The petroleum policy, it sets the policy framework. They brought in the petroleum law. The law gave the local content policy. Local content policy gave rise to the petroleum revenue management law. And petroleum revenue, according to the law, will not be mixed with other sources of revenue, right? There's going to be a specialized account created by the government, whether in an international area bank or in a local bank, where petroleum revenue will be dedicated to that particular account. What it does is that you have monitoring and evaluation as to how funds are transferred and taken out of that account. So we can be able to learn from other people's mistakes. The fact that my brother, my uncle was a role, my grandpa was a role, doesn't mean I should be a role. I can learn from their pains, their agony, and craft my own path for myself. That will make me a bit distinct from their own failures. So the fact other people fail, it is why Liberia has an advantage, because why? We're the last in the region. We have an underdeveloped basin. We have reached all of the prospects. And I will come back to your word, to the word, right, Henry? Prospect, because why? The black have been relinquished to the government. So as this black become available for investment, we can be able to put a clear path. We don't have to make the mistake Nigeria made. Why Nigeria made those mistakes? Because why? Before they came to production, the policy was not in place. The regulatory framework was not established. So that they made mistakes along the way. They learned from the mistakes, and they kept making more mistakes. They learned from them, and they made more mistake, one mistake. That's the reason why Nigeria is one of the biggest producers of oil in Africa, who is part of OPEC. They don't even want to supply the domestic market when it comes to low petroleum products, the prices. So we can learn from all of these people mistakes, the imperfection, and create our own regulatory framework. That's why we have the LPRA. Under the petroleum law, LPRA right now administered, they manage the licenses, create a new area, open new area for requirements a license. And look at what Noka does. Noka is they keep the data, right? The contract data, and they can be able to pay for oil, get own oil blocks. And under a perfect arrangement, if Noka was like the Petrobras in Brazil, right? If the government have oil blocks, Petrobras can bid for these oil blocks themselves as a national oil company amongst the hours of international oil companies. And if they win the oil blocks, they will be able to develop the oil blocks and put a part of revenue go towards national development for the Liberia County and other citizens, and they will be able to get shares to Liberians, right? So it's a good thing, but come out if it is managed well.
Thank you. Chuchu, your second question. Then I want to go. Then I want to ask. So he keep mentioning law. He keep mentioning the rule of law. The rule. I'm going to come back to that. I want you to take this on. It's just a caveat. There was a man in Liberia that gave a story about 3 cows. I think you know who he is. He said there was a red cow, there was a white cow, there was a black cow. When they went, they met Mr. Lion. Lion was hungry. So Lion told the white cow, he said, let me eat out that red cow. Because I left red cow. So white cow said, go ahead and eat the red cow. They ate the red cow. After the red cow, he came by and said, you know, Mr. White, let me eat a black cow. He said, go ahead and eat a black cow. He ate a black cow. When he got hungry, he came, grabbed the white cow. The white cow said, well, I've been so good to you. He said, but you should have known. I think that child Taylor said it. He said, what you guys are doing to me? Child Gange Taylor, I'm leaving my country. What they have done to me, you all should wonder it's going to happen to you. I'm saying this to say, today, Joseph Boakai is taking a statutory law.
Can you quote the law that Joseph Boakai violated? Can you quote the law?
Okay.
Quote the law. Can you tell why in the law Joseph Boakai violated?
Listen. who's supposed to negotiate contract, initiate contract, rectify contract? Isn't that the process you take when you're doing these major contractual agreements around the world? Joseph Walker said he agreed, he acknowledged the fact that they're supposed to do that. But he said people he spoke with have told him that it takes, the process is too long, so he wants to do it.
Exactly. You know, Asper knows all those things, but he wants to be public relations officer for the
So
government.
you brought me here.
I'm not asking you. Yeah, I'm coming. Chuchu, ask your second question.
Uncle
Watson, I'm coming back to you.
As for
take the second question, just receive about 3 cows, and we'll come back. Go ahead.
okay, no. So as for essentially, your answer is no. Liberia has not put in any balance. Liberia does not have any substantial management to manage.
No, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. Don't misquote my word. I didn't say. I said if you can be able to. I told you about the regulatory authority. Listen. I'm too alive to be able to misquote, be misquoted, right? I don't mince my words. I don't speak in nuances, right? What I said is that I was if regulated well.
Okay.
Yes.
So Liberia is not regulated well. Report out there, including the UN report, everything.
You're breaking
okay.
invalid. Go ahead.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. According to the international report, Liberia is still one of the most corrupt countries in the world, one of the most mismanaged countries in the world, including the last 2 years. All right. So your opposition of if Liberia has not done any of those things. I'm on the NOCA website right now, okay? And the board of directors of NOCA, all right, if some of these people have never managed anything in their lives, Muslu Kopo, William P, Kafuyan, is that the people who can manage or when they haven't managed a lemonade stand? You know, so I think we are wasting our time. We're wasting our time here talking about more revenue. The problem in Liberia is not more revenue. The problem in Liberia is corruption and mismanagement and incompetence. Everybody on our org, NOCA, and we saw it under the Eddie Joseph administration, brought her son and said her son was most competent than anybody else. What an insult to many of us. All right. So we don't have the management, number one. We don't have the regulations or the policy, number two. We haven't been able to even manage a company in Liberia, national bus company, MTA in Liberia. How in the hell would we be able to manage an oil company even if they were there? Don't make any sense.
So let me come from your last, but I go to the first, right? Right. And I mean, I'm not here to manage my work. I'm not looking for a job. I don't need a job in Liberia. I ain't got plan coming to Liberia to work. But the petroleum law, Liberia says, the petroleum law is active right now to serve on the board and to hold senior management position. You must have had expertise background in hydrocarbon, right? It's in the law. Go to the law. It determines, it says who should be able to sit on the board, the senior management position, the background you have. So you must have background in hydrocarbon, law, economics, policy. They give different discipline. So it says that even though you must have background in hydrocarbon, but the law to give room as an alternative to hydrocarbon. So do not hold it. Do people use laws, the loophole in the laws, to get their own will? If you go to the petroleum law of Liberia, it gives the qualification to serve as a board member. You must have either this or that. So the people that serve on the board right now, don't they have any of those credentials? Refer to the law. Let the law be on your One minute. Let me come back to your point about negotiation and rectifying. Just a point of correction. The legislature do not negotiate oil blocks. Not negotiate these, right? These are negotiated by the executive, and when these have been met, it comes to the legislature for rectification, right? That's where it comes from. And who has the power to negotiate and give oil block to give oil block? Is the executive. When Chevron wanted to get oil black in Liberia, did they go to edits to the speaker, or they go to the pro temp, or they go to the sim to get oil black? They negotiated with NOCA because that's NOCA has the authority. So NOCA is nowhere in violation of the process. And that's why you have LPRA. Now NOCA doesn't give out oil black, it's LPRA. LPRA really want to demarcate oil blacks, set up new area for oil and gas exploration, administer licenses, and be able to do all those things. It's the Petroleum Regulatory Authority. And you talk about capacity. Why the NOCA has technicians in-house. I can be proud of NOCA in the oil sector. We may not have everybody we need, but we build capacities. We have people in-house, people who are technicians. They have worked in the sector for over years, for decades. The presidency of NOCA, Fabian La, he has been on NOCA for more than 10 plus years. When I joined NOCA, he was already working there. He went. I don't speak for everybody because I don't know everybody's credential. But what I know is that people in-house, they are technicians in-house. You got people like John Harris. You got geologists. You got oil boy, other people in there. We don't have all the capable. We have people there to start the foundation. But what NOCA should be doing right now, LPRA should be doing right now, knowing that with all the process we have, we should be doing capacity building. The government of Liberia sent 10% order overseas to get the master's degree. Why if we build a training center in Liberia, right? They call it Honor University, Liberia Center for Excellence, Energy, Oil and Gas, and Research. And start bringing professors around the world. Instead of sending 10% overseas, you bring 5 professors all out of the country and be able to educate at least 100 plus Liberians every year to get advanced education or advanced expertise in the oil and gas sector. So there are a couple of what we can recommend to government. That's why before we left Liberia, before we were downsized and wreck-sized and lay off, we made recommendation. Don't throw oil as way. You're saying the university, I better build capacity. But we don't respect the message expertise in Liberia. A typical example, the petroleum, the local government policy of Liberia. They brought consultants from Ghana. They said that Ghana is we're bringing consultant experts from overseas. We're bringing experts from overseas. They were so braggadocious about the experts just to come out our own classmates from Dundee. But we sat in class together. But we did assignment, we took exam together. Why not invest in the local capacity we built, empower them to be able to utilize the full potential? But working at NOCA, sometimes at that time, back in the days, when they're working in a cage, we were silent from speaking out, we were silent from even expressing our opinion, we were even silent from even making publications. A couple of our colleagues then does their job for speaking out.
I want to ask a question, right?
Go ahead.
Mr. Watkins, so right now we say it is said that we have not discovered oil in Liberia yet. Why haven't we discovered Liberia? But then why is NOCA still attractive? Why is NOCA still lucrative? Why is NOCA people still when they go to NOCA? I mean, they recently the president suspended the NOCA boss, and recently I saw the NOCA executives divide themselves. The president was in London, the other vice president went to France. The other vice president came to America. They were all spread up to different conferences. But yet still, it's in NOCA. We haven't established a foreign oil in Liberia, but NOCA still generating money. So how is NOCA surviving? I want to know for the years. I know it is said that Robert Salif, I read some document with the Lands and Mine Minister, the Finance Minister. At the time, I think it was the Lands and Mine Minister for Ellie, the Finance Minister for Ellie, and NOCA boss, Robert Salif's son. There was some money in the tune of $60 million that were going around. I want to know why we haven't discovered oil, but then where the money came from? How are they getting money? How are they sustaining?
NOCA is the young girl who grew up in the town, with open teeth, where she was still, she was just in the town. Everybody in America watches their parents say, "Oh no, we want to get you oil." So even in her old age, she's still attractive. And I said that to say is that it's the prospects. Have you asked yourself why Sierra Leone get oil producing oil?
One of the prospects here, we discover here, we're making minority.
Listen, I come into your point very quick. Please give me 1 minute, please. So the prospects is because your data and right now technology have advanced to the point that Right now, using AI to build AI, start drilling for oil, robotics. So when the data says, those 40 data says there's a leak, you get oil in a reservoir, you go hell how you can be a drilling and find oil in a reservoir. So every time a person view that broad data, that's why we anytime the money are coming in. Because why you had it, everybody want to come to Liberia to do business. To look at the data about 1 hour, like $1 million.
Oh.
To look at the data. Did you hear about data? What no guy can yourself about data? Try to read the data to see the data at $1 million. So the more interest in the data, the more revenue the guy generates.
So Fabian and Basiga, Azango, Jaliba, they making money. What else?
I mean, I don't know what are the money they're getting with the data. But I want to go to the salary board.
What I can say, the money is not putting in as you want to think this time. It may come in too many. And as you said, and I want to think.
But you do you know why the sector died? Do you know why the sector died?
No.
2014. If you're following international events, current events, you knew there was a plummeting oil price, right?
Yeah.
Oil price rose from $100+ a barrel. It came as low as almost $20 per barrel. That's why everybody pulled out. Because why? That was not a productive base. We're not producing oil. We're just still a frontier basin. So it makes no investment sense to keep putting money in the frontier basin. So excellent. Most people cut down their activities. That was why they relinquished those oil blocks.
Let's go back to my question here. And I will come back to the 3 cow thing here. I'm telling you, we all know that the reason that Joseph Boakai wants to bypass Congress, you and I know that it is Congress' responsibility to regulate. They are the only regulating body. You know this. And you are now saying you are supporting the president for bypassing and doing no cow this way. That's the first cow. If he listens to you and you support him, if he succeeds in doing, listen to me, if he succeeds in doing this to Nukau, tomorrow it will be maritime. The next day, by the time you turn around, Joseph Boakai will be running this country by fiat. This is the 3 cow thing I was talking about, but you missed it. Congress
I didn't come to it. You call me. I didn't come there. I didn't come to the answer.
Congress has the regulatory right to regulate. The president said the regulation by Congress takes too long. That's why he wants to bypass it. So why are you saying you support this method when you know it's illegal?
So to ask what is it? What would legislature regulate right now? What would they regulate? What do they have for them? 1 minute. Let me you ask a question. Can you give me an answer your question now? You want ask? Let me. I got your question clear. I got your question clear.
They're going to regulate. It's their job.
No, listen now. Listen to me. Listen to me. This is how the oil sector works. Listen to me, please. Allow me to explain this to you, please. Now that Noka has these oil blocks that can give them the Noka gotta be very develop, express interest, and now come to the government and say that we have developed a production sharing contract or service contract. It is that contract when it's developed, you will not take for ratification. So right now, what is it going to be regulating? The person who getting oil block is staying the executive. Look at the executive. So they got to be able to develop either whichever means, either a PSC, they can go find, or something to get it oil block. They'll go find equity partners, right? They come London, New York, find investors, say, okay, we'll give 40% share with the bar, with blacks. They got to develop a production sharing contract. It is that contract, the agreement, they will take for ratification to the legislature. So as of now, there is nothing to regulate, right? So the legislature only rectified what has been presented to them. So what has been presented to them? It's almost like the government say, okay, we got the resources, right? The oil block for us, we own it. Let's give it to ourselves. That's what it means. So now look at go find contract. They go find partners, like Exxon, Chevron. So now we got the oil block, kind of special arrangement. Where you develop the oil block, they will share them and share that what country share here. That they will take that agreement to the legislature now, then they will rectify that, it becomes law. That's what I'm saying. So there is nothing in front of them yet.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Mr. Sanvee, I use the 3 cow analogy because if Joseph Boakai succeeds by bypassing the Congress in the initial stages of the regulatory body work, If he succeed with this, he will go to another autonomous agency, and it will continue. By the time we turn around, White Guy will be running the entire country by fiat. My brother here is very knowledgeable, but he's supporting the fact that Joseph White Guy should bypass. Joseph White Guy himself said it. This Congress has the right to regulate it, but the process takes too long. People who come to me tell me, Joseph White Guy, we want to kind of Liberia, but going through the Congress takes too long. Can you do something? And he's doing it. Your take on that?
So well, what did Joseph Boga do that he gave the IPABA Congress? What the only thing is that is an announcement. He's the president, right? Liberians want to own these. We got 30 white blocks. 30 white blocks. What's the harm in giving 4 to Liberian ownership? That will be able to develop their own contract. They will take the contract now to the legislature for ratification. NOCA becomes like an oil company. You have Petrobras, you have Conoco, you have GNPC in Ghana. These companies, they own oil blocks in Ghana. They got NNPC in Nigeria. They own oil blocks in these countries. Because they got the capacity, they themselves can drill for the oil. They can invest in the oil field. But like we don't have the expertise. So we're gonna go find foreign partners or go through a service contract. That's what I'm saying. So there is no law violated. It's in a prerogative of the executive to negotiate to find investors to come to the country. Now the presidency, NOCA as an investor, to come to invest in its own assets, in its own resources. That's what the president believes. Until the president against state of law, the president violates. I think you are just being a talk show host. They're just trying to bring out a topic that will just that will create more.
Let me ask you this then. I'm hoping that you have a much deeper understanding of the arrangement between the president and NOCAL. When the president gives 4 oil blocks to NOCAL, what does that do to the Investment Commission or the CCPP?
Okay, so in relationship to that, right? And for the records, for clarity, so if NOCA now has the asset, right? They'll be able to develop their contract, their agreements that they will then present. And then that agreement, because before it becomes to be sent to the executive, it will be reviewed by agency of government or stakeholder in government to make sure it meets all of the standards. It is that agreement will take now to the NRC or whichever agency to the legislature for passage or to be able to get to develop the oil field. So what I'm saying, when it comes to oil and gas, petroleum, you got 3 types of contracts: concession, PSC, and service contract. Before the contract before you develop the oil field, you must be authorized. So all they have is that it's almost like Victor. It's almost like say you got 4 Nigerian investors, like into like two Julie Brighton, right? They say, oh, we got 1 white block. They get him 3 white blocks, block 11, 12, and 14. Those guys ain't talking about white blocks. They want to fund Chevron. And the guys that made 200 million out of the oil block, like government got 50 million. So what's the harm if those assets given to Liberians themselves? If they don't want to go into service contract, say, okay, let Liberians come to group and Liberians come together, put that money together, and go find verified, reliable partners. Why if they get one of the oil block for 200 million? You just may have $1 billion Liberians, for $500 billion into Liberian own millionaires. So there is no harm into that. It's a national asset. If NOCA developed an oil block, it's for the state. It's not for individuals. The revenue goes to the government coffers.
So as far as you know, of the 4 kinds of contracts that you talked about, concession contract, production sharing, and the other, which of these contracts will the NOCAL arrangement fall under?
So usually on our PSC or production sharing contract, because the state doesn't have the resources of the investment, so they come to an ROC, international oil company, they call it an ROC. They bring their own investment, their capital, their technology to develop the oil block. When they find oil, when they don't find oil, it's at their own expense. The state loses nothing. So everything Exxon did, Chevron did in the past, the government have lost nothing because why? The production sharing contract depicts that. But under a service contract, in the case of Nuka having these oil blocks, right? The best alternative, because you consider it as nationalizing the oil blocks, right? And nationalizing means Nuka has 100% equity over the oil blocks. So Nuka can say, because we don't have the technology now, it takes a long time, let's go find credible partners and have you around the world. You can go to Rapso in Ghana or Talo Oil in Ghana, right? People that got record in developing white field. They will see the data. And mind me now, before they agree to go to the agreement, they will review the data, see the leads. If it's convincing enough, they will agree to go and develop the oil block. And then you pay them all of the percentage. Say, okay, you found 1 billion barrel, take 300 billion, cover your expenses and profit. They pack that back, they go. Every other thing belongs to the state.
Mr. Watkins, when we talk about public procurement, we talk about the interests of the people, the Liberian people. The reason that we elected our folks is for these people to represent us, to negotiate on our behalf, to make deals on our behalf in Congress. President Waika said that process takes too long. So what he wants to do is the word he used is streamline by dealing directly with NOCAL. That's what he said. He wants the company to deal directly with NOCAL. And then after they have made a deal, then they will take it to Congress to have it rectified. So what I'm saying here is the regular process calls for public hearing where Nambe can go, you can go, I can go, and we can for transparency's sake.
Yes,
this one,
and in so doing, prevent and
interrupt you, please. Interrupt you, please. Right? And I will get you. I assume I got your approval.
Go ahead, yes, sir. Go ahead.
Right. The process. What would the legislature be? What would legislature right now be? What would they ratify? What would they be doing right now? What's before them?
No, we're not talking about ratification.
I mean, but you said negotiation. It's outside the scope of legislature to go negotiate contract for investor. It's outside the scope. Their responsibility is when the contract is when they got to ratify, scrutinize an agreement. What's that? What are they going to be scrutinizing? There's nothing presented to them yet.
Mr. Watkins, I here in Florida, I have gone to something called charrette. When the government is about to do something major, they have a charrette where they have input from regular people, from stakeholders, from everybody. They come in and everybody have a say so. And they will bring experts from different sides, pro and con. If you are going to do this, how is it going to affect us? Okay, let's say you were an expert, right? Joseph Boakai brought you, from what I'm seeing, it looks like you would be defending Joseph Boakai. We, who the regular folks, will go and then bring someone like Mr. Neil or other folks and say, you represent us here. In broad daylight, everybody see it. You are saying, no, let Joseph Boakai go work out the deals, then bring it, then you'll ratify it. It doesn't work well for transparency. And if he succeed in doing this with NOCAL, he will do it with other agencies, like the other agencies I'm talking about. By the time his term ends, he will be running the entire country by fiat.
And then to respond to him, right? To say that is that we just going in visual cycles in the same way over, because what NOCAL is like that consider NOCAL like an Exxon right now, right? The government before they gave. Right now, the direct negotiation are going on right now. Did they go public hearing for direct negotiation? Did they go to a public hearing, town hall meeting to get African percent on the oil blocks? They didn't do it. It was when the agreements presented before the legislature, they bring in subject matter experts to review the agreement before them to give their opinion. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying you're right or wrong. What I'm saying, you are taking it from a different perspective. Right now, before they do all those things you're calling for, there should be an agreement on the table to review. What are they reviewing? If they do all that right now and say, okay, NOCAL say, okay, we don't want the government get it all back. It's a waste of resources. So they got to wait until an agreement is crafted, presented for discussion.
But Mr. Watkins, you're missing the point. The president have made a unilateral decision already. He has taken the property of the state and given it to another agency. I know.
It's just they give it to the states, taking this property, giving it to the states.
But there can be a process.
He's not letting me get in edgewise. But Mr. Watkins, let me ask you this, because and forgive me, but right now you sound like a jilted lover. You worked for NOCAL before. I'm an independent mind. I'm an independent mind. I speak fights, and the part of the matter is we so want to hear things what we used to hear with them until when an independent opinion is being presented, you are still not going to accept because why? You believe the way you want to believe. You want me to speak my independent mind. You want me to say something you want me to expect me to say? Who am I? If I'm not independent of myself, I'll be bent to your will. If you don't stand for something, for everything. I'm an independent opinion. I'm a technician. I'm not a politician. You have never seen me on talk show before. Since I brought a phone, I've not been on talk show. This is my first appearance. And my position I'm giving is an evidence-based position. It's a fact-based position. Hang on now. The position you are supporting is not an independent position. This is the government position you are pushing.
Because you want to hear something else.
It is not an independent position.
No, because it's what did I say from the beginning? I said it can be a blessing and a curse. Didn't I say that? I give both sides of the aisle.
I just want to make sure. Let me ask you this: do you entertain hopes of going back to NOCAL?
Me?
Mm-hmm.
No. Okay. To go surround people to control me right now to work. Wow, do you know I've achieved in America? I've managed billions of dollars in America. I run all federal railroad grants across the U.S. When it comes to railroad reconstruction, I got a beautiful life. But if I ever try to come back and serve my country, I want to work in the private sector.
Okay.
Mr. Watkins, we love what you do. Will you mind serving as a consultant?
I mean, I'm not trying to be, I'm here to give back expertise, right? The government educated me, right? They spent $20,000 to educate me, right? I came back. I submitted myself to serve my country, right? They call me non-essential. Whose fault?
Who call you non-essential?
That's why we're laid off before 2000. We're called non-essential workers.
When were you laid off?
I got a letter that proved that I was no essential. I was laid off.
Fred, why
and I left.
Why year?
And one minute. And being neglected after empowering me, educating me, giving me work class, and he neglect me. I came to a foreign land, and now my education has been respected, right? I was documented. I was documented by NOCAL, and not just me alone. Everybody in NOCAL sent to school. We were almost everybody was laid off.
What year was that?
I was laid off 2015, September 30. I was laid off on NOCAL.
Okay. The reason I'm asking because I know two of the young men you named. My godson, I think is the Garguah Innis. I think he was one of those scholarships.
Finish my comment. Finish your MBA from he went to Coventry University.
That's correct.
Finish Garguah Innis. You got that Johnson. You got Robert Sankade, all the men in there, like, oh, excellent mind.
And then Vincent Willie, those are all I call them my nephews from Peabody. But anyhow, the reason I'm asking this is for those of us who are institutionalists, we are very uncomfortable because the same argument could be used at maritime. Joseph Walker will come and say, I'm going to negotiate with the Panama Canal and blah, blah, blah. And the process here takes too long, so I'm going to go do it independently. When I finish setting up the deal, then I will take it for ratification. And we know what happened during ratification. We have had stories where when it comes to the ratification, the men with the most money, they don't read anything, they just sign off on it. So this is where some of us are very apprehensive when it comes to this kind of tactic. Mr. Nyenwolo, your take.
Can I respond to that before Mr. Nyenwolo come in?
Yeah, please go.
You live in America, right?
Yes.
You live in America, President Trump, right now, right? Isn't that talking about protecting the American interests? Isn't that prioritizing investment for American only?
So
right?
that right there,
So how can that be? How can you not be putting on that? I not being double standard here right now. I not being doing double standard. You live in a country in Florida. Where we're not trying to say, okay, we gotta protect American jobs, we gotta protect American interests. Why is that different? What President Joseph Boca did? Isn't that prioritizing Liberia interest?
No.
I said because it's a Boca, it's a Trump.
Oh, Mr. Nyenwolo, you were
Mr. Watkins, that example you just gave is a bad example because I can tell you this. Almost everything.
Baby, you used to hearing about every booth is sound bad.
Almost everything Mr. Trump has done has been reversed by the court because he's not doing it according to the law. And that is a problem. I think this is what my colleague is telling you. There is a process that the president of Liberia is not following. There's a reason why we have the CCPP, we have the Investment Commission. These are the institutions that are supposed to represent us when we're negotiating these kinds of deals. And yes, it will eventually go to the Congress for ratification. But it sounds as though this is not what is happening. The president is just giving this to these people, and you say they will then use it and go shop around and then find investors. To me, they are supplanting the work of the Investment Commission, and that is a problem.
We have a question here for actual. Hold on 1 minute. Your name and where you calling from? Hold on 1 minute here. Let me pull you. Your name and where you calling from? Sarah who?
Sarah Dopo.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, Sarah.
Okay, so my question here is, I heard what the brother said about Liberians owning their own oil block and what the president wants to do in order to give Liberians oil block. So my question here is it okay, instead of giving it to individuals, can it be in the name of the Liberian people? Because the resources are for Liberians, it's not for one individual. So if going by his assertion, if they want to give something to so Liberia can have its own, why won't it be in the name of Liberian people instead of an individual? Because people over there work for the Liberian people. So if the oil block is being given, it should be given to the Liberian people. So whatever arrangement that will be made, whatever benefit that will come, it should come to the Liberian people. That's my question. What is your observation on that, sir?
Hey, thank you very much, Sarah, for that excellent question. Right, and you just put icing on the cake, Sarah. You just put icing on the cake. That's what it's doing. In previous arrangements, those deals have been given to individuals, the few millionaires we have in our country. And they were going to possess those oil blocks and put in the pockets for them and their family. So in this instance, right, NOCA represents the people. NOCA is not a corporation that supply under the stakeholders. The Liberian people are the owners of NOCA. So every revenue NOCA generates is going to the government's coffers. And there'll be projects left to run NOCA. So if the government of Liberia generates, let's say 5 billion for the oil blocks, that 5 billion, let's say they sell 4 billion for Liberian people. 1 billion to run NOCA. NOCA will have its own board of directors to be able to give dividends to employees, to motivate them to work. And NOCA will have its own shareholders. Liberians will be able to buy shares in NOCA, in whatever arrangement that will be established. So there's the reason why the president said, but because, and don't let me sound that you say, I support the government, but yes, I still criticize wherever I saw criticism. I said I was laid off. I said people doing this, people doing this. But what the president doing is that.
Quick question here.
Victor, before she got a follow-up question.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'll follow up it because when I listen to you, how you saying that the oil block will be given to individuals who will go and make, who will go and find companies that will, that will invest in it. So this is the reason why I suggested that, because you talk about individuals, you don't talk about Liberian people. You talk about individuals representing these companies. And it should not be that way. The resources is for our people. Whatever thing is used, it should be in the name of Liberia, not individuals. That is my concern.
And to answer your concern, I said the current arrangement, under the current circumstances, any of those oil blocks right now Liberia has, right? those 30 oil blocks. Any Liberians right now in Liberia that can go and find a credible investor that has the financial wherewithal and the technology to invest in those oil blocks, you can go and bring it, come and negotiate with NOCA and express interest in these oil blocks. There is nothing stopping Liberians. So out of the other 26 oil blocks, any Liberian can do that. But for those particular 4 oil blocks, you see, it's for Liberia only. It's like saying, the Ministry of Education, right? Or the Ministry of Education. Say, okay, all the schools in the whole country, all the 15 countries, they're 5 countries, only Liberian people, teachers can teach in their school, only people. It's about giving authority to the Liberians, giving them more control over the resources. That's why it's saying. So to further conclude your question, what I said first, it was a previous arrangement. Out of the 26 oil block, any Liberian in the world, you can go find investor, you can get the data available, you go pay for the data, you can pay $1 million to go see the data. When you see that you convince the data, you can take that data, go London, go New York, go Paris, go Dubai, and share data to investors. And if you can convince them, you can negotiate with NOCA.
Yeah,
and when you go negotiate with NOCA, NOCA not go to the legislature. Because when you now, Victor, if you are the private investor right now, you pay a money, go to NOCA data. You convince the data. You say, okay, I want to invest in Liberia. You go find your partners in Dubai, Paris, London, and come to NOCA and negotiate with NOCA. You're expressing your interest in the blocks you're interested in. If NOCA accept your term, you'll develop a production sharing contract.
Yeah,
it is that contract that will take to the legislature for ratification.
What I'm getting is this, and this apparent gift by the president to NOCA. People are texting me. It seems to fall outside the articles of incorporation of NOCA. They are not supposed to be in the business of shopping around for oil well. Do you agree?
Let me
let me answer a question. Let me ask before I lost track.
Okay.
The law that when the petroleum law was passed, you people should have seen the law when the law was passed. When the law was passed, the laws when NOCA were relinquished of its regulatory authority, NOCA become like an oil company. NOCA can bid for oil blocks if it has the technology, the finance, the capacity. NOCA can go and find partnership and bid for oil blocks. We need to read the law, what the law says. So making speculations, let us refer to the law, understand what the law says. Go under the responsibility of NOCA. Go under the petroleum law of Liberia. Go under the responsibility of NOCA. NOCA become like a state-owned oil company. NOCA can bid for oil blocks. NOCA can find investors. NOCA can do anything with oil block. It's a state-owned investor representing state interest. That's all it is.
But you're not understanding. That's what I'm getting though. And again, okay, like I don't think we should play politics with this, right? Yeah, what I'm getting. What President Boga did was he tried to bypass all the bureaucracy to get to that's what he did. So look, instead of going through all this stuff, like somebody said, instead of going to be getting a Broad Street, instead of passing Ghana's way, passing all the place, he said, Boka, you guys can now, Liberians can now go and bring investors now. But yeah, the deal though. If Liberians go out, let's say we said, now you out, we got money, we got friends out there. So we come with investments, they'll come and do exploration, right? They come there. They give you authority to look at say they can tell people to go, Liberians can now go and bring investment. But now, before if they come to do it, before it takes effect, like if they discover whatever they discover, right? You have to rectify by legislature. Why didn't the legislature not making laws right now? Because they know nothing will happen until they rectify it. So all Boka did, he gave authority to y'all go look for, y'all go bring business in. So that
somebody case closed, somebody case closed. Case closed.
But my only fear I got, right? I'm just hoping that it shouldn't be friends or family members who already got in contact of the presidency or the people in the government to go and bring their friends there, and they be just. But if it would for the general group of the country, I don't have a problem with that. But I want you to say the guy they call Walter McCarthy, where the big business guy in Liberia, who they say that the body to the president's son, Jojo Boga Jr., other people there. I just hoping that somebody who connected to the presidency and all this stuff, who already got potential investors to come and do it. But the president,
add to that, Tomalin. Let me just
I come to you. The president said, look, instead of going through all day too much and bureaucracy to get to that way, I put it on one side. Y'all go straight now, bring people, y'all come in the country, invest.
Easy language there.
Sometimes the bureaucracy, even though it's a bottleneck, but sometimes it is necessary to streamline the process and also stamp out, you know, the inappropriate, I would say, corrupt deeds. That's why some of the things the bureaucracy is supposed to do.
What that bureaucracy? What have
So
you
what you are describing?
Yeah, but no, what you see, be honest with you, sometimes too. The president said, "Look, I mean, what have you carried out? Because it's a delay, all kind of process. And but if you can get it done quickly, if you can get up the Broad Street without passing 2 pins way, no problem. Then just go get it.
But Tomalin, how about I say what a Gizi mountain, right?
Yeah.
The price only Liberia right now. We get like Burkina Liberia.
Yeah.
Then Liberia come together upon an investor, they come investing with a Gizi, right? If all Liberia come together, go put region, combine the resources, and try to find credible partner. And negotiate the contract, people get the MTA to the legislature.
So how much in order to what the president did, right? How much it would cost? Let's say how much if you want to really take that to do that exploration or the investment. How much are we talking about in the tune of what?
Okay, for let's say one of those white blocks, right? Yeah. This is the government Liberians who get money. Yeah. And remember, it's a probability, right? There's no guarantee you find oil in commercial quantity. Yeah. Even the data say you got 100 million barrel here, there's no guarantee you find it on the oil, right? Yeah. Based on the science. Like people take all that, they go borrow money, but all they get 50 million. They go trade out one with the 5 black, dry hole. All that money leave the hole.
Wow.
Right? All that money leave the hole. They will start swaying people, they will start saying that wish, they will start saying that popular medicine. So people, what me and someone having a conversation today, right? And the person said, well, how many Liberians right now get million? Only very few. So the person said, it's just a few Liberians, they few millionaires, that will put money together and be able to invest. But if you get 5 million right now, Tomalin, you want to take 5 million to go invest in a web black. Wow. Why you know you go try your money in the hole? So it's a good thing. So this where Liberia becomes, people got more assurance. If the more discovery made in your basin, right? You got proven reserve in commercial quantity, right? Now you know that as an investor, now like bring investor, you have been sure say, okay, if Sherry can find oil, Exxon find oil, it shows that oil there's a reservoir flowing, right? It will convince you. But right now, even the data can be beautiful, like injured. It's still probability.
But so why the government, like bro, why the government, why they are not involved in making the exploration themselves? Why aren't they invested into that?
Exxon, one of the where the drill, they spend about 50 million to drill where dry hole. In Liberia.
Tomalin, guys.
And Exxon, it's a race, it's a financial investment race, Tomalin.
Okay, let me just come in here and say a few things here. First of all, the question that Tomalin asked is a very prudent question. Why Liberia cannot drill its own oil or, produce? That's what the oil company is supposed to do. Most countries have a national oil corporation, which is what NOCA is. They shouldn't be going out there and trying to look for investor or selling oil black. The Great Saudi Arabia, all these countries in the Gulf, they have the national oil services. Brazil, the Petrobras you're talking about, is the Brazilian National Corporation. They're not only drilling oil in Brazil, but around the world. So to answer the question, the only problem here is we just have a dumb government, because that's exactly what you should do.
Let
me finish. You had a whole show. Let me just say my piece. All right.
Sorry.
We're spending over $300 million every year for the last 20, 30 years in Liberia since the war. We've been spending hundreds of millions of dollars just paying corrupt representatives, president flying to useless meetings. If we could have taken 25 million of that
okay, and partner with smaller exploration companies, maybe that $25 million would have come out to become maybe 200, 300, 400 million. Our problem in Liberia is the government does not invest. They want to beg for money, and they want other countries to come and bring their money to Liberia. Plain and simple. You have an incompetent government, because we should be investing in our oil company. We should be investing in our diamonds. Why do we need metal steel? All right. Metal Steel is not doing anything different than setting up. It's a management company that goes around, looks for investors, hire engineers and hire geologists, come to Liberia, use the same iron ore collateral, raise money, all right, and make billions of dollars and give us a few million dollars, and we're running around like the president said. They have exceeded expectation. That's what we pour in our country. Poor leadership. Presidents and leaders who don't have any idea, who has never managed anything in their lives, anywhere significant. So all the things we're going around here, the countries that are doing well, that are able to grow their economy and bring the people out of poverty, most of those countries, including China, they have their national oil company. They are the ones who are investing. You can't ask poor Liberians to say, oh, you're coming with the money, when the government is wasting money on private jets, wasting money talking about the lobbying for UN. Take the 800 million and use it for that investment purposes. That's it. Solution right there.
Yeah, so I think you said it well, but I mean, let me just respond to you. The same thing about metal steel. Why metal steel bringing investment? Why don't give metal steel coming far? Say your asset going to find investor. Isn't that what the president trying to go right? Giving all back to like businesses? Isn't that the same thing talking? That's the same thing advocating for? Instead of giving that all black to people to Exxon Chevron there.
All black.
You talk, listen, let me talk, you listen to me too now. I mean, I was quiet.
But just a point of correction. You don't need to sell it all black. Let Nukal do it.
You don't sell all black, you lease all blacks.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But you don't need to do that.
So,
you just need to export.
You ask the question, why Nukal not going? Your budget, your national budget, is still almost $800 million. That just one project, one well to drill, one oil well to develop oil field, one project money down there. So you said the whole government should go. You said the whole government budget to drill oil black. That's what he implies, right? He says you took the $800 million and go develop oil block. And you said why 25? It's all years. So it's not just this. It's a generational curse. It's on previous administration.
I think you're trying to defend when you don't have, the understanding yet, right?
I understood you very clearly. You said why the government like Liberia. You said why the government like we're not producing their own oil blocks. You talk about petrol blocks.
You already have a corporation set up. Noka is the corporation. They do not need to go out and lease oil black, right? What they need to do, the budget that they have millions of dollars in budget because we saw the report on Salif, right? Take that whatever budget you have, right? Use the oil reserve or oil exploration as collateral, right? And get money to exploit yourself, just like Petrobras or just like any other national oil company. You can sell bonds, you can borrow, you can do all those things. But how would they know any of these things when look at the kind of people on the board of directors? Any one of the people on the board of directors know that they can manage anything, a lemonade stand. Woman pay know that somebody who can manage anything in life. Besides running around with Unity Party, that the kind of person would know how to manage, how to go and raise money on Wall Street, that the person would know how to go to London and raise money for oil companies. Let's be serious here. Let's be serious. So as Coco Dennis, who are a representative, corrupt, doesn't know anything, that a woman who would know how to structure a deal to bring capital investors in, let us stop joking here, man, with the Liberian people. Please.
And guys, you guys can call. There's a number on the screen. Call. We got a few more minutes with the guests. You can call 237-649-986 or call 856 if you're in the U.S. Canada, everywhere. You can call 856-5136. We have Mr. Astro Watkins. He's someone who know the inner workings of Nukal. And he told you guys. The government of Liberia spend a lot of money on this guy to educate him in Sweden for the oil.
England, in the UK.
In UK, rather, yeah. So okay, and He's here tonight. He's like he said, he has a very good job with the state of Maryland and the federal government rather, and so I think he's just helping us to understand about Noka and so forth. But people just believe Noka is so corrupt. People are already considering them corrupt. I don't know why, but because
and somebody another thing, right? For me, is I'm not looking for a job, so I don't care about to impress anybody, right?
Yeah.
Why you people have this? And the most important thing right now in the war is manpower retention. One of the major challenges going on right now, national oil companies or national institutions spend millions in building capacities, right? And the people that invest those education in to maintain and reach them become a challenge. Canada can work for them for 2 to 5 years. People work out the door, work for private companies. What are we going to do to maintain and retain our capacities? Even though you don't want to come to Liberia, but use your own local, your domestic expertise. We'll give you recommendation from a genuine perspective. So all I'm saying, to conclude, Noka doesn't have the capacity to drill white blocks. Noka passed budget, he put it together for the past 10 years.
I got
to invest to drill white blocks.
You got a call on the line. Go ahead, caller.
Yeah, this is Gabriel Guiden calling from Ohio.
Yeah.
You know, everything those guys explaining is a good thing. The country will benefit when those things go the rightful way. But my gentlemen, you should understand, the president we having right now is no different from a dictator. He's a dictator. He's a complete dictator. That thing he's talking about giving our black off, he know who he want to give it to. Waka is a dictator. He's not somebody like can understand to say, oh, like, I will work with the citizen, I will work with the legislature. Waka is the president. Waka is the speaker. Waka is the justice minister. We have to be very, very careful how we give our resources out. This old man already finished. He wants to damage our country to his children, mortgage our country to his children. We have to be very, very careful. Waka is a serious dictator. Thank you.
Keep your calls coming, guys. Keep your calls coming.
So you can also place your calls if you're back home 0777 649986 plus 231 777 649986 to be a part of the discussion tonight on Truth FM, the closing argument here 0777 649986 0777 649986. So Mr. George, you can go ahead.
Yeah, let me say this. We want to extend an invitation to the president, acting president of the car, Mr. Fabian Michael Lai, the vice presidents, Rex Debbie Basigia, the other vice president, Emmanuel Azango, the other vice president, Waka Jaliba. You guys are welcome. Look, I understand you got your class video their platform, but it will not help you. You see, you come on other platform that is not pro-government because class video is pro-government. So you want to get it. You see what Brother Watkins did for you guys tonight is a great service for you guys, honestly. And I've been people watching the show. They said that he's being independent. Even those on the panelists, they said they're pushing him. They're trying to push him to make him to be critical. It depends.
Mr. Watkins,
if you are anti-government, you will not like most things they do and say.
So it's about 1 minute. If we're discussing politics with this political government, but look, it's a technical issue.
Oh, Mr. Watkins.
It's a technical issue.
Mr. Watkins, be real now. Come on, be real.
So right now, you guys I would urge you guys, the vice president of Noka, the president, you guys are welcome in the closing argument. Come and talk about Noka because Mr. Watkins did a good job for you guys tonight. People are asking me, say, I knew all of Noka like this, and like bro got all these prospects, and we stay poor. Maybe when President Ellis Jones gets there, maybe he will take executive actions to make sure that Noka Joe.
And Tomalin, we develop curriculum to be able to introduce oil and gas from primary education all the way to college level, right? We got simple questions and answer handled. Our goal was to be able to introduce oil and gas into our education system. So that we can be as early as senior high school, junior high school, start understanding about oil and gas. Because the truth of the matter, what we want to say or not want to say, Liberia has huge prospects. It's just determine when they start they develop oil. When? Not how or wow. When?
Got a caller.
Yeah, go ahead. You live. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Tomalin, and I want to say thanks to the panelists. But Tomalin, the problem here, but like, bro, sometimes we talk about all those expertise and all those beautiful things that go on the papers. One of the problems with Liberia has to do with implementation, and two, one of the major problems that we have in the country had to do with self-benefit. We have a lot of people that have expertise in some of those areas that are Liberian. But you see, this self-glorification and self-interest is one of the major problems of Liberia. Even during the time, for example, during the time of Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, the same no-call issue came out. Wait, and no way. People name were on NSCC report that take bribes. And what that anyway? Nothing. The Liberian people don't understand anything about it. And majority of them were who? Educated people that claim to have expertise in those areas. But at the end of the day, they always put their interest in front above it all. And that's a major problem with Liberia. And that's why we need people that will take over those areas that actually love the country and put the country first, not themselves. That's one of the major things, you people that have a platform, I think these are some of the things that you guys should really emphasize on particularly, because it suffered the country and it suffered the people so long. Imagine we 177 years old, and look at the population in our country. Look at the young people. Look at the life of our people ultimately. When we look at Beer Mountain, for example, look at the gold that leaving from Grand Kema Country. I was looking at how much just last year Beer Mountain making Liberia. Yesterday, let me just end on this. Yesterday, I met a brother here in America. He's a truck driver. This guy carried a load of iron that it made out of iron ore. That one of the piece of that iron cost $95,000. And this brother said that the iron it came from Liberia. The iron ore came from Liberia, and they made those iron in America here. So today, go to Liberia, where those iron ore are coming from. There's no road. There's no good living standard for our people. So we need people that will put the country first and its citizen. We really doing evil to our people, especially for our educated people. We expect them to be the one that will put the people first and really stand up for what is right, so the life of the people can be able to change. Ultimately, thank you for giving me the opportunity.
Thank you, Mr. Watkins.
Yeah, just to respond. Maybe just get one icebreaker. Right? I'm not an independent mind. Nuka was exploited. Nuka was abused. Nuka was robbed. People should have been in jail. People should be held accountable for the stewardship at Nuka. We were marginalized. We were ostracized at Nuka. We were the government investor in to send us to school. We were silenced. Our voice was shuttered. So I'm not here to cherry pick nobody. People should be held accountable. But what happened? I'm in America. I only have my opinion. I have what I can say. It depends what people do about what I say to take action, how to take action. Nuka, when I was going to Guar, I was going to school in London to do my master's. One of the big accounts, I talked to the British Ambassador for visa. Look how more than 50 million, more than 50 million, one of the bank accounts. And it has several bank accounts in domestic banks in Liberia.
For Nuka?
Nuka was a lucrative cow.
Oh, the money went?
How did I go bankrupt? How can a company that was worth so much money went bankrupt from 2010 to 2015 to declare bankruptcy? So people got to investigate these things. People just commercialize or beautize. People just say corruption. For me, I'm just here to say as it is. Nuka was bankrupt. People that were there at the time, people there. Can you imagine when our Exxon D was signed, Black 13? Nuka got money for bonus, $5 million for bonus to 5 more employees.
Wow.
How much did we get with our employees? See your calculation, how much we're gonna get because of the big deal. We got bonus $5 million. I think I got what? I think I got $1,500 as my bonus. People divided money amongst themselves at the time.
Now I get to understand why President Sirleaf said you told believe on Nuka.
Right? Nuka was abused. I can give you names. I can give you names of how Nuka was abused. Who are there? Who work there? What people want to document our head? When people see us, they were talking about our head. You know, document.
Yeah, I want that to be a teaser because I want you to come back. Keep the name. Don't call.
No, I'm not here to call people names. I just gave it as it is, and maybe
Don't call Jeru name yet. Don't call Jeru name yet.
Well,
Don't call my name, man. Why can't don't call my name?
The people that when they put money in swamp, they bought swamp land. This is like they went bed, no guy quarter. They bought swamp. They put more fire right, the bought swamp land, Biakun quarter. What happened to that investigation?
Never giving chance. Yeah.
Go ahead, introduce yourself.
Oh, sorry. My name is Matalin Pewee. Calling from Pikena halfway.
Make your point.
Yeah. In RIA there, where they call Clipper Camp, they have certain where there that will go and draw water in the morning, will go in the market in the evening before. That water, it will change different. You see all kinds of oil on it, green, blue, red, or all that thing the water can turn to. Then the whole water facing can change. You can't able to use it to cook with it or neither to bathe with it. I don't know they get all to that place. Where in Clipper Canada.
Okay. Thank you.
And another breaking news in what the woman just said. In Tinga Village, on the Ralphie Highway, my auntie, she built a house. She took a well in her house, right? In the yard. To go drive water from the well, stop working from the well. I reached out to people to Noka, I reached out to people in Liberia, nobody paid me interest. What did I tell them? Go there and see what happened, whether it could be or oil reservoir on the ground, or what they say, oh, maybe that's somebody get gas station in the community, the water leaking from the gas leaking from the gas station, it go away the open well. The monkeys that use the well in the yard. That's what I said previously. Like people has onshore oil potential as high as the offshore oil potential. But people we have national data in our possession. Have all local documents, the original contract, the assessment data. What an investor can be like Bureau. We have those documents language in the yard. It was wasting on the ground. It was just passing on the table. People when they lay us off, everybody packing the bag to leave. So we collect this data. I got them here in my place. And in the future, people will need these documents and information.
Well, keep it for the next government that coming, bro, I'll be part of that government, so keep it.
No, I mean, if this government, I mean, I'm convinced this government will deliver. I don't have to be working the government or not, but if the government put measure in place, we can contribute. I'm not here to. I mean, I know yesterday was better than yesterday.
I want the government to succeed. I want the government to succeed. I want the government to succeed, but do they have the political will? I mean, would it?
I mean, you said you will try to be blindfolded because we see action be taken, even though it's not as well wanted to be. But it's saying when tomorrow be better, you know, we're tough on the eve, right?
Yeah. The action by President Barker with the all black issue, and like I say, I do not oppose it. My only thing is that I'm hoping it shouldn't be people that the family members and connected to that coming out do better. Oh,
that's what people doing now, making sure all the investors coming to invest in that white black there. That make sure people real investors can invest in it. What people not come no car, people don't no car. Why will not put all that friends together in the back and can bring money in front? So I mean, like you see, I'm not here to beat up nobody. I'm here to say as it is, right? The best way forward for those white blacks is to get a service contract.
But yeah, what I disagree with.
We got 15 minutes now.
Yeah, Mr. Guest. Yeah, what I disagree with you. You were saying in one tone that you believe that this government will succeed, right? But you're saying government here is the one that are doing things illegally, moving tenure position. They've mismanaged the country money already.
We're discussing Nuka. We're discussing oil and gas Nuka. You don't drag me into a 10-year other position. No, I mean, let's stick to the issue, babe, please. I don't want to get involved.
Government. Hang on here. You don't interrupt me. Hang on here. I just went on the Nuka website. Nuka has not produced a financial statement in almost 5 years. How can you manage an oil company? They have a budget of millions of dollars. Or the VP you're inviting here. right? According to the law, they should produce a financial statement on their revenue and expenditure. That's law. They can't even produce that one. So where in your thinking that tells you that this government, this defunct government, has the ability or the willpower to succeed in any area? Is that wishful thinking, or we smoking something here?
So to answer your question, right, the idea, the concept, and the government gave it, when the government gave it black to Noka, Noka is the represent the state. So it's not the government say Liberia own these oil blocks, because Noka is the entity that administers the oil blocks. That's what it implies, right? I'm not saying the people at Noka are injured or demon, right? But the idea that the country, you are saying that we're giving all natural resources to all the foreigner, all our mountain, all our gold mine. What a great person will get what a Gizzy mountain. We get it all the gold mine in River G. Only like bring business, only like bring and get those natural resources. I would say the government was wrong for prioritizing Liberians to give them preferential right when it comes to the oil blocks. That's what it means. It's not Noka property. It's the government Liberia property. Whatever Noka generates, it's not Noka money. It's the government Liberia money. Resources generated, revenue generated, is going to government Liberia covers in the consolidated account, not Noka account.
Thank you. Mr. Watkins, you've been a very great guy, knowledgeable. We want you to come back. We're running out of time. You got 2 minutes. Can you do your closing and your pattern comment, please?
Well, I want to say thank you to everybody, Tomalin, for this opportunity. This is my first time appearing on the talk show, on any public forum to discuss. I know I was a little rusty. I'm a freshman on this kind of platform, so I apologize for my presentation if there were any flaws or imperfection.
You did well.
In conclusion, Liberia, we should be able to build capacity, we'll be able to respect those capacity, right? We should commercialize or factionize these people who build, we need to end of the day, just for records. Noka can do better. Noka has been under the new leadership of Mr. Fabian La. I trust Fabian La. He knows what he's doing, right? He rose with rank and file in Noka from finance department, coming down to controller. Now he has Noka as the acting CEO. We are cautioning them, right, on these oil blocks. I'm not speaking as a lay person. I'm speaking as a subject matter expert when it comes to oil and gas. I was the voice. I was showing responsibility of managing public expectation in the oil and gas sector in Liberia. We led reforms that gave birth to the petroleum policy of Liberia, Liberia petroleum law, and the local content policy of Liberia. So we know what we're saying. We understand the laws, we understand the documents. The government, what the president did was a action in the right direction to give Liberians ownership in the natural resources. For too long, too many years, we have been crying, oh, to some foreigner in our industry, our mining sector, our gold sector, all the some foreigners. Now the president is saying, we have heard the call of Liberian people. Let us nationalize these 4 oil blocks. We have 30 oil blocks. Should we give all our resources to foreigners? These 4 oil blocks for Liberians only. And I will hope that those 4 oil blocks are the most lucrative oil blocks where when it's produced. So the government, Noka can now go find either a service contract. They way forward. Find a service contract, bring people to come and service to develop the oil blocks and pay them a fees for service. The bottom resource become the state and the government are bringing benefit. And for the records, we have been marginalized. I'm not looking for a job in Liberia. They don't have money to pay me. I made too much money in America right now. I take care of myself, right? I'm comfortable with my life I'm living, even though I'm not rich, but I'm comfortable. So the much you can say, I'm not looking for a job. I don't want a job. But we believe that all our allegiance to the state educated us. They empower us. One of the best schools in the world to get knowledge, to manage the natural resources of our country. So we are here, we are available. If we respect our opinion, we have to consult, provide consultancy, and provide support where support is needed. I want to thank you to everybody, and I'm still rusty. Your partner with me. I can talk fast a little bit. So sometimes my words are short, or sometimes I cut the words short. But I mean, it's my first debut, and the next time I think I'll do better.
Thank you very much, sir. You are a great technocrat. You know your stuff. I like the way you speak. Because you talk. You are not talking across discipline. You are talking in your discipline, what you know. So we thank you very much for coming. Please come back. Let's continue this. Educate us. The more you show up, the more questions, the more you clarify stuff. Thank you very much. Don't go anywhere.
And I think next time that's going to the petroleum law. Let's go into the legal documents, right?
Please, let's do that.
Let's discuss the law. What the law says.
Good.
What are the clauses in the law?
Yeah,
Okay,
because
we'll do that.
people asking that you come back to talk about the law. So we'll bring it back.
Let's do that.
I say thank you again. I appreciate it so much. The short notice. I appreciate it
Yes.
so much. Everybody praising you. See what the woman saying now?
That's right.
You're a very good guest. Thank you, Captain Gibson. You guys are praising you, texting.
That's right.
Yeah,
Thank you very much, guys. Bye bye.
So wait, before you leave.
Don't leave out.
So if tomorrow they call you to be the consultant you take it from them.
I take my man, Tomalin. I hold national information in my I know it.
Oh, but that means,
right? And I'm not trying to take them out of job from them. I'm not trying to take them out of job.
All the local bosses watching the show, they will call you. So
I know I hold national information, and I'm not trying to be nobody's best friend, nobody's worst friend. I just want to be able to give back to society if given opportunity.
Mr. La, Mr. Basigia, Zango, Jaliba, the man is willing to help the country. Y'all call the man, okay?
If you want to say you want that job, you wanted that job from there. I want nobody job from nobody. I got good job, my job here.
It's a working lie. You know the CEO already. He came.
I'm my own boy. Everybody talking about my boy.
Okay.
Everybody talking about my boy and work together with our comrades. But I'm here to talk technical issues. Right? If people get hurt in the process, well, the facts are the facts. Right? And then we'll mend our differences and we'll move on. But like, bro, we got expertise. We got to invite those expertise to the table.
You make the best country chicken soup. Is that correct? Someone is telling me you make the best country chicken soup.
Okay. I mean, I'm a very private person, but I cook a lot. I'm a part-time chef. Even though I work for the US government, I'm a part-time chef. Okay. I cook, they call my So people, nobody know what I do in life. People see me as a comedian.
Where you live? Where you live?
I'm in Silver Spring, Maryland.
Okay, so next time I'm going through, I gotta drill some of that soup.
Remember the high table. You'll be at the high table.
That's right.
Oh yeah, I mean, I've seen it a couple of times, Tomalin.
I know.
Victor, you're closing.
No, I just wanted to thank Mr. Watkins for making time. I think there's a lot that I learned. I believe all of us have. Sometimes some of these things you think you know something about them, but then when another person comes on, they take you to another level. Like you said, like Chief Tomalin is saying, the guys who are in responsible decision-making authority now, maybe they should reach out to him. The man is already cooked up, he's already trained and ready to go. I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with invite. He's a Liberian as well as any of us. I think he has a right to serve his government. So yeah, I hope they will reach out to him and see how he can be utilized. But I hope to have you back again. Thanks for coming.
Choo-choo.
Yeah, all right, Mr. Waxman, thank you for the information. It was great sharing a platform with you. What I would say is to the management, they need to provide a financial statement. It's the law. It's good management. Failure to do so warrants no praises from the new managing director or CEO. If you cannot, how can you manage what you cannot measure? The purpose here is that even if NOCA is going through losses, we, the financial analysts and experts, we can look at it and see if those are reasonable losses. Furthermore, you look at most of the countries in the world, like we said, Saudi Aramco is the largest oil company, largest company in the world. It's owned by the Saudi government. Rosneft is the Russian national oil company. All right. Even Nigeria has their own national oil company. I'm totally opposed to this foreign investment thing. It has not worked in Liberia and most African countries. All companies have gone to Liberia, bribed officials, and there's numerous reports out there, including the United States had to pass a law against the corporation. and they exploit the country. We have the intellectual minds. We have the people with the passion that can manage anything and everything in Liberia. All we need to do is to have the right leader, the right president. Instead of Liberians here, nurses, doctors, engineers, passing around in America, building another country. We should be, the leader should be inviting these people so that we can start to manage our own resources and grow our economy and end poverty. But I think about bringing investor is in Congo. Look at Congo today. So I'm totally opposed to foreign direct investment through any private corporation. The BP is called British Petroleum. That was set up by the British government. Okay. French, French National Oil Company. They're being exploiting Burkina Faso, Mali, with uranium, all of that they got kicked out. We need to kick out most of these foreign investment, and we need to bring Liberian, set up the corporation, and let Liberians manage it, let Liberians benefit from it. And that's the kind of leader we need in Liberia. And God's willing, that's the kind of leader I will be.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir.
Chief, let me close because
I think he was the president.
Oh man, you still on here?
Sorry.
Tell you everything. Tell you where we're hearing it. Watkins, listen. Look, I agree with you. If the country invests, in order you guys to go and enhance your expertise, and you come back and your own country that invests in you throw you away. And 2014, that was Joseph Walker, Ellen Johnson, Salif time. So Joseph Walker now can make you whole, make right by the people, bring all of you guys back and say, you know what? No need to bring all the public, the private, foreign expertise. We got expertise here. You'll come
Consultants.
on. Yeah, you'll come on home and help me any way you can. And I agree with you. We have invested in you. I think you need to come back. And I'm glad that you are not shying away from coming home. Listen, there's nowhere like home. If you can come.
I didn't say I'm coming home, but I said I can wait to country. I didn't say I got to come to support. I can stay away far. I can stay far and contribute.
No, but listen, if you talk about it, you said academic, you want to teach, you want to all the knowledge you acquire, you will have a curriculum at the university to teach oil and gas management.
Do it online.
Online learning. I'm a PMB certified. I offer boot camp online.
So thank you very much, Chief, for coming. The chief himself, you close us out so we can go.
Oh, am I going right?
Yeah, he's saying, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, thank you. So why can you done, right? Okay.
Yeah, done, yeah.
Okay, but I want to say thank you for coming at short notice. Thank you so much. We learned a lot tonight, and a lot of messages coming. What I just learned from a reliable source is that this whole thing, the president's action was somebody trying to push this guy called Arthur Easy, one oil guru.
In Nigeria, Easy.
Arthur Easy is all about this guy coming to get to our oil. But they said that they said that President Baka was misled. They said the president was misled in his action. And I'm informed that the legislature is about to take out the issue with the president. They're not happy about this. And so we're coming in Oranto. Oranto is a
Oranto, I want Nigeria, they gotta get again. Who got the fire play with how you call it there? The pepper coats.
Okay, so now
I say how easy that the Nigerian building now got all the money when I broke first. That's what I say. They gotta be able to put the bribe people to people, yeah, explore the country.
I'm informed that people they hope the president was misled to take this action on the car. So right now I think we're gonna backfire. Let's let you not happy with it. And he flipped the oil block. Okay, I'm getting information as the show is on. It keep coming. So, but again, it's a serious issue. We need more time on top of the oil issue. So look, we'll definitely bring you back. You'll come here perhaps next week. We'll find out.
Before you conclude, right? Yeah. The action of the president is brilliant, right?
Yeah,
it's the implementation. If those people are in control of the sector right now, if they become mischievous, It will bring all the booty and all the people that will come now and just get the thing what they're gonna do, give it to. Can you imagine somebody? I just got information that said that the people there from they get people investor who's gonna get a 25% share in the oil blast and the government give it to them. So people gotta be very smart right now. For me, I'm calling it as not cake. If we're trying to be corrupt or do anything, it's their own fault. But the action of the president is good. The best option forward is to go to a service contract. Go bring the car, have a national conference, go find either petrol, run the international oil companies, and hire a service. Pay them in barrel of oil. If they black with the first bag, I won't pay the barrel. Say, okay, they won't pay the barrel. 300 million for your service, take a cover your expense and your profit. The balance says 700 million is for the state. Anything short of that, people will get rich at the expense of others.
They said President Boga should have consulted. They said he should have consulted the legislature and offer a public debate before taking. They said there's a 2019. It's in the law. Okay, yeah, they say that the law says that local law of 2019 says that the president should have consulted the legislature, open for a public debate before taking executive action. So the president did not. So that the law, the 2019 local law was violated. So that
the law says, I know that law, I got it away from me here.
Yeah.
The law says, right? Before the black, they will open Tomalin. Before you get a debate, you must have an agreement to discuss on.
Yeah.
Right? So everything, even the president of the there is no document on the table that negotiate. So it's still negotiation going behind the black. So until the negotiation is concluded, you got to draft agreement. Then you take that agreement to take it to the legislature to rectify for the input. Either they reject it or they add or subtract to it.
Well, I mean, that's where we are. The legislature will hear what the legislature will say, but now I think it's getting a backfire, and especially when they call these oil magnate, the oil gurus who flipped our oil black before and took all our oil, and then we got nothing from out of it.
And you got legislature and then signing the rectifying petroleum contracts, petroleum law. They don't even reach the people that got the expertise to seek their opinions.
If President Boga was misled, he can't be probably misleading. He taking action. He fire the people that are misleading you.
Why is it? I don't think he was misled. I think the action was good.
But they said he should have consulted.
But the person that gave it up, the person they're not authority. That just my opinion. They giving you their money.
The person giving the law. The person says you have consulted the legislature, and then they do a public debate before taking executive action.
There is no way in the law that say I got a law. Are you charged right now? You can scan that whole law. There's no way in the law that say the black women for Liberians, right? They for black women for Liberians. The law only have moratorium on certain blacks. But the action, there's no provision in law for this action, right? But the action is in the good direction, but it must be managed well.
Okay. So next week, please we'll keep our schedule for next week. We'll bring you again next week so we have a more detailed, comprehensive debate.
They bring out the petroleum law, the local content policy of Liberia. How Liberians participate.
A lawyer will be with us to that day. So we'll bring a lawyer too when you come out there. Bring a lawyer that do us.
Oh yeah. Bring counsel. We should counsel Pega. Meaning Pega, she's a petroleum lawyer.
Oh, where is she right now?
Meaning she will help you. She will Eddie RC. Meaning Pega.
I mean, you know, the problem of bringing people when they're in government, they can be a little bit afraid because the things that they will do that. But
they come in to discuss the law. I mean, anyway, yeah. I don't know. Anyway,
I will try to get in touch with her. But thank you so much. So I'll see you next week. Okay, thank you so much.
All right, bye.
Thank you, Mr. Nyenwolo. Yeah, we are though.
Quite a lot tonight.
Yeah, we learned a lot tonight, and the messages coming in is a whole big thing happening. I reached out to the former local president to come on. She declined. she said you don't see me on platform before. So I agree. She says she can't come. But again, honestly.
But like, you want to try rustling?
She's suspended right now. Did she want to come?
I don't know.
She not want to. She be on investigation now.
Yeah.
She not accused bug already, so I know about it. But again, it's a damn way. What bothers me is that since the issue of the oil business in Liberia, I remember when Tyler was speaker. He went around the country, and That time the money was coming in, the money pouring. But now I'm getting to understand why President Sadi said, they take the blame for Nuka. But Nuka she took the blame. Right? I think the chairman want to weigh. Let me hear the chairman. Go ahead, chairman.
Yeah. I want to say something. I want to contribute something briefly.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Am I on?
You live.
Sorry, it's good to see you. This has been
Chairman, good to hear you, man. Good to hear you.
Great show, guys. I've been following, and Tomalin, it's funny because as you were talking, you always on top of your game, Tomalin. I think whoever was texting you was exactly. I was getting the same information because they thought I was on the show also. That there is a backlash that is brewing. Can you hear me, Tomalin?
Yeah, you live.
Okay, yeah. I was also getting the same information because they thought I was on the show also. So I said, no, I'm not on the show. So I want to believe the same person who reached out to me is the person who ended up reaching out to you. But I was also told that there is potentially. Look, I think the intent here. I think I was trying to see where the guest was coming from about the intent about local Liberian participation. The issue here, from what I am being told, and I'm still investigating this, so I want to be very careful, is that this also has to do with Oranto, right? That's the rumor that's going around that Oranto, because you remember what his name Ata Easy was just in Monrovia with the president. If you remember, there was this whole controversy going around with him. I think at the president's son's dinner, and then he was there and all of that. But let me tell you what I've been told is that there are three. The petroleum law has been amended twice, right? The first law is the one that Taylor signed, the law of 2000, the petroleum law of 2000. That one was very exquisite. It was very clear. 20% Liberian participation in every petroleum service contract, right? Meaning Liberian participation should be guaranteed. When Ellen Johnson Sirleaf came into power, they amended the 2000 law and brought in another law, and I think they made it they dropped it a little bit because of the competition that was out there, just based on the reality. Because I think the Taylor years it was another period. Then what I was also told, and I didn't even know that in 2019 the Guar administration amended the law, right? This the reliance by which the President Boakai used is the Guar petroleum law reliance that said I'm trying to get the actual clause where it says the president of Liberia can take executive action so something like what he did recently, but there is a caveat that he has to do prior consultation with the national legislature, right? That the national legislature has to be fully involved in. The president also has alluded to me that, listen, that particular clause is problematic because it puts the country in a different light when it comes to the international oil, the international oil sector. Because what it means is that it's doing away with competitive bidding. And the oil sector is very, very, very particular when it comes to competitive oil bidding, right? There are three ways I think we can allocate oil blocks in Liberia: through competitive bidding, through direct negotiation, and then the last one is this one where President Myean then inserted the executive one where, but this particular one, the reason it's problematic because even President Myean did not use his own clause he injected because he was advised against it because of the repercussion and the ramification of what could have happened, right? I also have been told, in fact, Tommy, I think you read in that chat room. There's a chat room that we all in, and you saw one of the vice presidents of NUCA going back and forth, I think with Sam Jackson, about the president's statement. There is a quotation in Front Page Africa where the president is saying that, according to Front Page Africa, they're saying that the president said that international people, the business people won't come, but they won't deal with the whole legislature. They won't deal with the whole thing, right? I've been told that the people are saying that the president did not make that statement, right? And so I don't know. We need to check with Rodney Sear also on that. But the reason I wanted to call in was to say, because I was listening to the guest, and I think I wanted to find out from him which law was he looking at, right? Because that clause, that executive action clause, there is a precedence. There is, I mean, not precedence. There is a prerequisite before the president can do something like that, right? The president has to consult. There has to be, and then he was talking about the PSC. What he was trying to explain towards the end about they got to go get contract. That's like when you go through the competitive bidding before the people are granted the oil block, then you got to go to the national legislature. That's where that's for ratification. He was talking about ratification. What they're talking about at this particular time is pre-consultation. And pre-consultation will lead to public debates. People will need to know, because this is a national asset that the president is saying, right? So the president can say, yeah, you know what, I want to give 100% ownership to Nukal, but let's also be cognizant of the fact that the only time, because, you know, other countries, I also was told that other countries may have that same clause, but they rarely use it. The only time the president may try to use it or invoke that clause is if that particular oil block is no longer needed, there's no competition for that oil block, right? So let's say ExxonMobil don't want it, nobody else want it, because the truth of the matter is Nukal does not have the capacity to drill for oil. So when you give Nukal an oil block, what Nukal is going to do? Nukal is going to try to go find a partner to come and do it. So that's the little tricky thing. But I like what you said. I think I will do my best to make the next show when he comes on, so we can look at the different laws. But I think this is a healthy debate, and I understand that it's a debate that is now generating. And lawmakers, I spoke with somebody on the hydrocarbon committee in the national legislature, and they told me clearly that there is a problem here, and they're gonna be taking this thing up. So we're gonna wait and see what happens. But I thought it was a fascinating discussion today. Everybody was calling me. They thought I was on the show, you know, and they you know, and stuff like that. But yeah, but great job, guys. I just thought I wanted to include that. So Tomalin, you are right. Apparently the same person who reached out to me is the person who ended up reaching out to me, because as you were reading it, I was like, oh wow, that's verbatim of what I was also told. So yeah.
Yeah, thank you, man. I don't know. We pray that this oil issue will help our country, because it's a about oil. And what I don't understand is that I asked the question. Nuka is now about to get the constructing of $1 million headquarters already. Mm-hmm. That headquarters started doing early time. They continue through Weir time, and now perhaps Bugger will be the one that.
No, I think it actually, no, it was actually Weir government that started the construction of the. You remember what he said, right?
Yeah.
Remember what he said. The early administration bought swampland.
Oh yeah.
It was, and the land are there pretty much, right? Yeah. It was the Weir administration that initiated this process. Because Nuka used to be in Echo Bank building. It used to be a little filtered looking place in you claim that building. That place used to be very, but then the administration, the Safwa Great administration, moved Nuka into the building on Coconut Plantation where NCC used to be. And then it was their administration that initiated the project to construct a new headquarters. And this administration, I believe, is going to complete it, which is government is continuing to, which is not a bad thing. I mean, I just thought to state that, no, it wasn't the early administration that started the construction. I think they purchased land. That's what he was talking about, saying they purchased land for $500,000, but the land has swampland. Nothing has come out of it. But there was it's a whole new arrangement that the Weir administration did when they did the thing. But I wish and see the debate. I'm not trying to put the pieces together, but the name, by the time I bring here the name Arthur Easy, people start getting jittery, because Arthur Easy made a fortune out of Liberia. A fortune.
I flipped the oil block.
He's the one. Let me tell you what Arthur Easy did, right? So Arthur Easy, who granted him the oil block? It was Judy Bryant. It was not Ellen. It was Judy Bryant. What they did was they took advantage. Arthur Easy then took advantage. In fact, all of the oil blocks were leased out during the Judy Bryant administration, Tomalin. What happened was interim government, and the mistake the early administration made was not to either cancel those contracts or renegotiate them. I think they came and they renegotiated it, but and what Arthur Easy did was very smart, right? Arthur Easy company Oronto Petroleum went in, took advantage of the fact that it was an interim government, got it for little or nothing. And guess what he did? He went to ExxonMobil, to Chevron, not ExxonMobil, to Chevron. Flipped it to Chevron. You know how much Arthur Easy made from flipping our oil blocks? No. $200 million. $200 million, and kept 30% stake. 30% in the Chevron operation. Why? So you understand, every time people hear that name, people remember what happened. So and the name is starting to float around again. So that's why a lot of people are especially with the recent fact he was recently in Monrovia. You know, they saw him hanging out with the president. So you got to understand that people are going to get up in arms with this. But let's wait and see. That I don't think we should jump to conclusions. Let's wait and see. This could be a good thing for Liberia, from my perspective. If it's going to be done right, at the end of the day, I want to see Liberians becoming millionaires from the oil sector, like Nigerians become millionaires from their oil sector. There's nothing wrong with having foreign partners or international partners, but do like what the Ghanaians, the Nigerians, the Equatorial Guineans, the Senegalese are doing right now. Right, the Senegalese are doing it right now. I think the latest oil, the newest oil country is I forgot where. I think Gabon. No, Gabon always had oil. Angola had oil. There's another small country that recently just formed oil, and they're very hard on the local content. So let's wait. I mean, the guys I know, Carl, most of them are my friends. I know them, very smart young guys. I'm hoping that we'll get some clarity. Maybe one of them, I heard you saying that one of them, I think Riz wanted to come on the show. I hope they can come and clear the air and provide the information, because information is power, Tomalin. And I think you want to get ahead of it. You want to allay the fears and allay the concerns. And even if it's after easy to come in to get another oil block, let it be done the right way, right? Let it be done the right way. Let Liberians be involved. Let's see some Liberian participation, and let's see Liberian millionaires come. But this notion that we got in our country where we step on each other and we don't want us to be able to benefit from our resources, it got to stop. You know, it really got to stop, you know. So I just thought I wanted to add my voice. But great show, guys. Again, thank you again, Mr. Namwe. Thank you to Mr. Kim and all of you guys for holding it down. I will do my best to try to see how we can be more present as it need be. Thank you, Tom.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you, Chairman. All right, Chief.
Then we get a closing. Let go.
Yeah. Good night.
Okay. So, guys, we call it another day. You know, today this UP policy in Bon County calling the president to fire the lieutenant, Howard Norris, and also following a month legal battle, the government of Liberia is about to extradite suspect Otello Bruce to the United States of America for allegation of rape. Wow. They're about to, this guy they call Otello Bruce, he's in Liberia. I heard he raped someone in America. They're about to send him to America for the charges. They're about to extradite him to America, the government of Liberia. Wow, my man. Come enjoy the prison in America. And the Center for Transparency and Accountability in Liberia, CENTAR, releases 2024 State of Corruption Report. 83% of the Liberian population say the government is corrupt. Wow. 83% of the population in Liberia say the government is corrupt. Only 70% say the government is not corrupt. 70% I know that's also UP people. So that's it. See you guys tomorrow, right? Okay, good night.